but now niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it.
What up, what up? We back. Realest podcast ever.
Say that.
Live on location, man. Y'all see a special guest. He kind of look like my dad. You know what I mean?
You got some sense. That's funny as shit. I be that baby Paul. I be that baby Pappy. Yeah. Oh man, that's one of my movies right there.
He was bar none. Our favorite guest of 2021, man.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
We learned so much. He learned a lot. I had a Vlad moment where he was like, "How you know that?"
Yeah.
Had one of those. Like, we kind of went through like the whole range of a lot of different stuff, man. A lot of topics, emotional stuff, history, the feds. We went through. We went through everything, man. And
not everything, because we going to.
We missed some shit.
Yeah,
we missed some shit. And with that being said, man, give it up for our guy, our OG, man, Chris Gotti.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely, straight up and down.
Appreciate y'all having me.
We appreciate you coming, man. We know we got you up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Got you driving across states and stuff like that. We appreciate you, man. We thank you. And you before
that's
we
Vicky, you know that's
it had nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
You know that.
When Vicky got on a blazer, you know it's about to go down. You know what I'm saying?
I said the
She,
same
she,
She must have came from court.
Give open the court up for her.
Shit.
That's because she giving them the business.
Yeah, she doing something.
Yeah, giving them the business. You before I get into my thing, you were kind of posing like a question like off air or whatever the case may be, and I was just like, nah, let's save it for the actual show or whatever the case may be, because you know at this point everything is content, and we very transparent with our audience. I'm sure a large portion of your audience going to tap into this just like they did last time.
I recommend anyone that does podcasts that you should be doing other people's podcasts. That's how it actually exposes your podcast, which is mine, is giving them the business. You know what I'm saying? With me and Don De Niro, and that's what we do. We try and educate people in different forms of business, not just music. I'm more than music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? De Niro's more than music. And we just try and give you the best information of what we know or what we found out, and then vice versa. Maybe we'll bring in an expert to give us their business perspective and how that thing and everything works from what they do to kind of educate the listeners or the viewers.
I saw you on a podcast recently looking real slick, real cool. You had your glasses on. You had your bucket on. Was that your show or was that a different show? That was your show? Okay.
Yeah. That's my show. I shoot.
Your video was like super
again, I'm by,
clean. Like,
see? Man, don't tell me that. I be on my shooters. I don't know if you was listening earlier. I be on my shooters because that's your job.
Yeah.
You got to keep us right, man.
Yeah, it
make us look good.
The clips look beautiful. Look extra sharp.
Yeah, and again, it was a studio setting. So it's already made for podcasts. Cameras in place. You don't have to set up like we're here. How we are now. Everything is already positioned. Chairs. But the problem with that is everyone uses that, or multiple podcasts use it. So it's very aesthetically, it's not unique.
Redundant.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a unique setting, and that's one of the things I want.
It's funny you bring that up, because last time we did our thing together, we was in a studio in the city, same type of thing or whatever like that, where it's like they got 2 rooms, it's real plug and play. You kind of just come, show up, do your thing, and you bounce out or whatever. But that setting has kind of gotten burned out in like podcasting, so we elected to go a different way, do some on location.
The reality
type
of what you're doing here is, again, it's a unique setting. It's dope. It's we're in a room that has a vibe and energy to it that I like, and then how I look at it is really just that. It's that energy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that studio you're talking about, that look when I had my glasses on and everything, it made me do that. Gave me that. It led me that way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feed off people's energy. In rooms, same thing. Just the way I'm gonna act, talk. That energy in that room is really dope. Shout out Quan. He's out in Vegas.
Oh, Vegas, nice.
Yeah, because I'm out West Coast all the time.
Yeah.
some of the guests was out in Vegas, and I know that podcast. I did a podcast there with another young lady.
So you automatically knew I need to cut some
What's the name
content.
of her podcast, The Baddie Life.
Okay.
She's doing her thing and her numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
yeah, we about to go out Vegas soon. You got to plug us with that.
no
spot.
question. That place is fire. And the only thing you should think about if you are gonna do it, because you should have your own drop. Like maybe if you had a backdrop.
Yeah, we got one.
Something. Okay, then then now that same studio that everyone, or not everyone, but multiple podcasts are in, now it becomes yours.
Yeah.
So I told Quan I'm gonna bring my backdrops and stuff when I do it next time.
Customize it a
and
lot
it'll
more.
be it'll look like it's mine, even though its cameras and lighting is dope.
Right.
And what's crazy is I don't know if you're shooting 4K or not. You know
Are we shooting 4K?
Yeah, we shoot 4K, but we compress it down to 1080 to make it strong.
Okay, yeah, he's shooting 1080 and his shit is crisp.
Yeah.
And I said that to him. He doesn't even have 4K cameras, but his cameras are all 1080. And you know the beauty of 4K is then you could push in when you edit. You know, and that is without losing any clarity. I don't know if people that listen, if they understand all this shit. I had to learn all this shit.
Now we've had like our guy Kyrie Terrell on the show. He's an independent filmmaker. He does everything. He shoots, he edits, he directs, and he came on and did an episode with us specifically around that.
With, Earn Your Leisure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are my
I just
dudes.
met Troy Millings when
we
we
met
was
him
at
down in
Troy
Atlanta.
Roy Conference.
Rashad is my
He
man.
gave me some good game.
Mark, all of them guys over there, you know, Matt, all of them guys at Earn Your Leisure, those are my dudes. And but I look at them because their quality of what they're doing is A1.
Yeah.
And if we're doing podcasts, we have to compete always. We're always trying.
Absolutely.
No matter what you do, if you're an independent artist and you put out records, you're competing with Drake, you're competing with Future,
Whether you know it or not, you
Lil
competing.
Baby,
Yeah.
Dirk. You're competing no matter what you do with the best.
One thing
You're being judged on that level.
One thing I noticed about them, even with within their overall power structure, you got like Market Mondays, EYL, assets over liabilities. Their assets over liabilities that they do with Revolt, that shit is unmatched as far as like how they shoot and the angles and quality and.
Well, you know that's a full production.
That's a full for
So
television.
Now you went into television production with Revolt, and they got a full production. They got all of those
Ursulas and Reds
amenities at their disposal to get the best product.
Yeah.
And that's what they're supposed to get when you're going, because the money that's being spent for that show is a different number than what we spent to get our show.
Absolutely. But the question that you was posing to me was about like business and like the back office part.
I was asking behind the scenes, what I was asking is, how do you monetize your show to make sure that, you know, and we decided that it would be a great topic to say in front of the camera.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I said, who does that? Because it's very important. If we're going to spend the time, energy, and effort to do these things, we want to be able to monetize.
For sure.
And we want to be able to build. This is something we want to build and make something that we could have, that we own and generate revenue from.
Yeah.
And I brought up Earn Your Leisure because I was there from the door with.
Yeah, they just did an episode with Brother Irv, and they brung you up and said that you was they said you was their best, and they basically said like you was like their rabbi, like you kind of helped them navigate into certain places and spaces.
The door. Me and Rashad both do insurance.
Okay.
So I own insurance business. The guy Rashad was actually working for, his father does insurance. I didn't know that. I found that out, but the guy that he was working for, Mike Cutler, Culver.
Okay.
That's his name. Mike is a dear friend. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name, Mike. But Mike reaches to me and says, hey, you should meet someone that works with me, talking about Rashad. And that's how we met. We met years before the podcast started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything. And then we met again out in L.A. He seen me out there in L.A. with Rihanna and everything at the, what's the name of that club? The Gate. I think that was the name of the club, the Gate in L.A. And
sounds very wealthy. Sounds expensive.
Yeah, it was absolutely one of those clubs in L.A. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2:00 closed, but you know the in crowd could stay.
If
later.
you know, you know.
Stay later in the club. And all
Yeah.
You know, we was out having a great time, and we met again there. And then he would come to my studio talking to me about this podcast, which was Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah.
And again, to his credit, this guy's, man, he's incredible. The team they have is incredible.
Yeah, they're amazing.
What they've done in the amount of time is bar none, man. Hats off.
Yeah, for sure. Especially to be in a
if not the best.
to be from where we're from.
Yes.
To be black and
talk
from
about
black
financial
and talking about
literacy.
and being in an educational space to be able to get so much traction and get so many people behind them and so many A-listers be willing to come on their platform and stuff like
with
that.
Steve Stout, the shout out Stout, but
got it.
He has his company United Masters.
We had one
which is one of my competitors.
Yeah.
Which I say I don't have no competitors. I'm only talking shit. Steve is a friend of over 40 plus years, and I wish him nothing but success. But at the end of the day, we are in the same space, right? So I always make jokes with Rashad and Troy, like, how you go with Steve and not me?
Right.
But I know why they went with Steve.
Yeah,
Steve has way more resources.
Yeah. One of Steve's
I'm very transparent.
One of Steve's former right-hand guys at Translation is our guy, John Petty III. He's executive director at White and Kennedy now in Portland. Oh. And he's one of our like rabbis and helping us like steer through this thing. And they're actually sponsoring our live show we got in January.
Translation no more?
No, he's executive director.
I do all the insurance for Translation. Shout out Steve.
Yeah, he was the first black executive director for White and Kennedy Portland, which is the company that's had Nike's account for forever.
Since Just Do
It. They created Just Do It. And he's a young black guy from Southwest Philly.
One of the greatest fucking marketing.
Yep. And he's one of their 3 executive directors.
I tell everyone that's all you got to do is be Nike. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like that's to me one of my main things is in business. You got to do it. You got to just start. But I was asking you about monetization and how you monetize a podcast, so we could talk about how you monetize a podcast.
So, kind of the baseline of it is, when you have a podcast, as much as you're monetizing the show, you're monetizing yourself also.
Absolutely.
So, with that in mind, the different ways that we monetize the show are DAI, dynamic ad insertion. So that comes from like the platform and the hosting platform that you're on, and or any type of advertising marketplace that you may be on. So through Podbean, our web hosting service, we get dynamic ad insertion that comes kind of like here and there. You hit certain benchmarks, they push ads to you for a certain amount of time, whatever, and it's like passive income that just generates on back catalog.
Now, when you say that, is that through YouTube? Is that through...
That's just straight through audio RSS feed.
All podcast feeds.
All podcast feeds. So somebody clicks on our podcast on Stitcher, on Pandora, or whatever, if Podbean has did DAI for that episode, that's on there, and based on the amount of clicks, there's like a royalty rate, the same kind of like with streaming or whatever. It spits back a number, we get paid off of that.
Right.
Then you have
is it paid differently based on a click versus the amount of time you're on?
No, because when it's audio, it's just literally just audio, so just the ear.
They don't have to stay on, because you mentioned like audio, like a record. So in music, you have to be on a certain amount of time for it to
register. Right.
Is it the same way?
That's what we're trying to figure out. So we don't know. Like one of my favorite.
It is. I just don't know exactly the amount.
Exactly. So like Joe Budden, one of the best, greatest podcasters of all time, has been on this journey for the last 3 years.
He can't beat me in spades. Him and his dad.
Which is what actually matters.
Shout out Budden, yo.
Spades just keeps coming up on this show lately.
It's a constant theme this week, it seems. Spades. Yeah, we had a whole conversation about. We had Clint on, and we talked about World Series of Spades and how
man.
Like,
yeah,
shout out Clint.
My brother, we used to play buttons in his dad.
Yeah,
they really good.
So Joe has been talking about like for the last 3 years, like what is a stream worth? Meaning like it's like if a music stream is worth 0.0008 cent or whatever, what is a podcast stream worth of a show that's 2, 3, 4, 5 hours? Like what is that stream worth?
Because we've had shows that are an hour long, and we've had shows that we did a 4-hour show. So you really don't know.
If you're looking at the analytics in the back end, you're gonna see that how long people actually stay on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worth.
Right.
That goes for when you're dealing with ads. How long? I'm sorry. I'm dealing with not remembering certain terminologies. Will come to me. I promise you. I'm getting old and shit. But the length of time that someone stays on is the value that ad company actually looks at you, what you're worth.
Yeah. Like on a YouTube video, the example that you're making is basically like, let's look at a YouTube video. Watch time.
Yeah.
on how if you have a longer watch time and more engagement on this million play video versus less watch time and less engagement on this million play video, you could have the same exact amount of plays, streams, however downloads, however you want to categorize it, but the video with more engagement and more watch time is worth more.
Yes, and it should generate you more revenue.
Exactly. So you got DAI. You have actual fenced ads, meaning like we go out and find ads, or ads are brung to us from companies for live reads, for commercial insertion or whatever into an individual episode. And that's based off of CPM rate, click per minute rate.
That's right.
So that's based off CPM rate or whatever. So you have same way like in television advertising or radio advertising, you got a 15-second rate, a 30-second rate, a 60-second rate, or whatever the case may be. And typically where we find our most bang for our buck when I'm dealing with people that want to advertise is we say, hey, if you want to do the 60-second, we'll break it into 230s for you so you get more bang for your buck and you can spread it out over two shows or whatever the case may be, as opposed to
advertisers directly
through marketplaces. And then also like most of our ads come from small business. So I'm dealing with them on local business. I'm dealing with them on a peer-to-peer level. Or if it's not local business, like say we have Hennessy right now was like one of our sponsors or whatever for the show. But I'm dealing with
shout out Hennessy.
Yeah, shout out Hennessy. Super shout out Hennessy. I'm dealing with the market rep.
Hennessy should pay for the fights that they created.
Yeah, and yo,
there should be some type of give back program for Hennessy.
Yeah, like a fund.
Hennessy
like for the whole culture.
You know, Hennessy, that brown gets you violent, man, and they know that, man. You guys at Hennessy, shout out for supporting, but yo, give back a little bit more for the violence that has been created from the Hennessy consumption. So maybe even the babies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That Hennessy thing really is real.
The real deal. Hennessy has been talk about sponsorship. Hennessy's been the official sponsor of black culture for 35 years.
Unofficially.
The other day, there was a video going around of Bruce Lee, one of his movies, and he was drinking Hennessy.
Oh, wow.
And people was like, now I see why Bruce Lee was always fighting.
Yeah,
like, it makes total sense.
That's what I'm saying. Hennessy, you fight. You get violent with Hennessy.
Yeah, real shit.
So you got DAI, you got fenced ads, then you have like actual like monetization of content. So like you hit like YouTube, for instance, is the most prevalent one or whatever. Sure. Vimeo was like a super like a second place, but last place, right. A last place, second place, or whatever. Sure. But you get paid off of how it's a combination of factors, but you have to hit certain benchmarks in order to get monetized.
Which aggregator do you use to get it to all the platforms?
Our web hosting
is Podbean.
Podbean.
That's who pushes us out to.
Like I believe we use Anchor.
Yeah, Anchor's a big boy too.
Anchor's a big one.
Libsyn's another big one also.
Yeah.
And Libsyn now owns AdvertiseCast, which is the biggest podcast advertising marketplace that's out there. So now, if you have web hosting through Libsyn, you're automatically considered for AdvertiseCast before any of the other shows that are indie that aren't on their hosting platform.
I have someone that wants to start. This is what brought me to the question when we was talking. Yeah. I have someone that wants to start a podcast. Older gentleman, incredibly smart, was a lawyer, went to jail, came home. And he should be, anyone in trouble should be looking at Robert Simmons as a consultant to your lawyer. He probably knows more than your fucking lawyer.
Got you.
So you should fuck with him.
Yeah. Is he one of those I forgot more than you've probably ever learned type of guy?
Yeah. But this guy is super smart. He knows how to move in the courtroom. But because he got arrested because they said he helped his client, which the way he did it, they didn't like him winning all the cases. The feds is a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They didn't like that he was winning his cases. They didn't like my attorney, which was Robert Shargell.
You had Shargell, right?
Yeah. Shargell passed not too long ago. But Shargell was so good, the feds did not like him because of those. He was winning.
Yeah.
And be able to turn these cases. And Robert Simmons was the same, but they ended up locking him up. He did a real bid.
Yeah.
Came home.
Damn.
Dear friend. And I'm telling you, his podcast is going to be incredible. We already started talking about stuff. I mean, he's going to be incredible, but maybe we talk about you running the back end for him.
For sure.
and we figure out a deal like that.
Yeah.
That's really where this question was coming.
Yeah.
Aside from seeing anything that I could add to what I'm doing or not, I'm always open to ideas, suggestions. Anyone that knows me, I listen to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are.
Absolutely.
To the janitor, could bring an idea to me and help me.
Yeah, and I literally, you know, through this whole process, before we even cut one episode, I did like a whole year background study, figuring out information. Talking.
Vicky, hook this up, Vicky.
Yeah, bring the blazer, and then, you know.
I'll come with a blazer
but
too.
I'm telling you, Robert Simmons will be on deck for that. He's out of Connecticut, but he could move wherever he got to move.
Yeah.
But his podcast is going to be educational from a legal standpoint. Like Gunna and those guys should have Robert in his corner.
Gotcha.
1,000%.
Lawyers watching lawyers.
1,000%. He just knows how to move.
There is an actual attorney that's on YouTube that I follow, that I'm subscribed to, a guy named Lead Attorney. He's based out of Georgia. He was a family attorney for like 20 years. He's retired now, and he talks about various pop culture topics and stuff like that comes up from a legal standpoint, and explains the law in it. And he does like live streams around it and stuff like that. So that's another resource, something that we could collectively check out.
It's funny bringing it up, but while I was riding up here, I got like a random DM from somebody who was like, yo, I'm listening to your Patreon, another way of monetization. He was like, yo, I'm listening to the Patreon where y'all did the breakdown on the Gunna and Young Thug indictments. Wait, shout out Kevin Hart Jr. He's like our legal attorney, friend, expert, and he was like, yo, nobody's doing this. Like, y'all had a 2.5 hour breakdown on just the whole, behind it, and he's just like, yo, this is like excellent. And it's just like, yeah, no, that's real. Like,
I did it, and then I did on Giving It a Business, but we're not on Patreon. But at the end of the day, what I did was give them the experience from myself and what they need to do in order to fight the problem they're in.
Gotcha.
You know, once I seen their lawyer talk about they're in bad jails, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Brian Still.
When he, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I didn't want to destroy him like this, but it's trash. Fire him immediately. It's jail. If that's the best argument you could make, you're not worth anything.
Not working hard enough.
Not to me.
Yeah.
Not the person, not the gunner, not the one who's paying you. That's the best argument you can make. It's jail. Shit is fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the court's response was, "I'm sorry that we don't have amenities like the Four Seasons."
Exactly.
was the court's response,
which is really the right response. It's like, what do you think? You're going to a hotel to chill out? Nah, nigga, you're in jail.
Watch too many mob movies.
It's not the best of the living situations that it might be out there. And when I see a lawyer that's really fighting for your life, that's his best argument to bring to the court for the reason why you shouldn't be inside.
Probably in a bad way.
Not cool.
Yeah, not good. Yeah.
And I said, obviously, this is not a person you need with you. And I don't know those dudes. I reached out to them. I read through people, like if they want to holler at me or whatever, I'll go to them. But they need to know certain things about the way they move. If you've never been through those kind of situations, you won't understand. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm sitting here is because it was very strategic in the way we plotted how to protect ourselves against what they're doing, because they're building a case. He's sitting in jail. They're still building cases.
Yeah, for sure. Let me ask you a question.
They're not stopping.
Let's get
this had nothing to do with nothing that I wanted to talk about today, but it's relevant because of this case. What do you think about state RICOs versus Fed RICOs? Because my stance on this is, even though this
both fucked up,
they are fucked up. But I look at some of the things that the state of Georgia has done trying to bring this case to fruition against them, and it looks very sloppy. Yeah. Knowing what I know about the law, sloppy's good for the defense. Yeah. But it's almost like an argument of like why
they don't have the same conviction rate.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the state RICO is not as strong because of that systemized way they go about it.
Yeah, you got people making $48,000 a year trying to litigate something that's like way above their heads in most.
It's always cases. Political. Like, they move up in their career if they do get these convictions, and that's the problem. They, my prosecutors acted like they knew me. I'm like, no, you don't even know me. How you talking like you know me? Like you've seen something like with your own eyes. You don't even understand who I am as a man. Like, and that's the difference. Really, you get that. But again, it's just like you probably hit it right on the head with one being more sloppy and less sloppy.
The feds are usually very uniform.
But just understand, the feds have unlimited resources.
Exactly.
They have more resources than the state. The state is working off of a definite budget.
Yeah.
With the feds, if depending on what it is, could keep spending.
Yes.
No
So to see this one office in this small county, in this what's now a small city, like trying to pump out RICOs every month is just like crazy to me.
They're grabbing at everything.
Like somebody got to go down. Like something's going to stick.
That's exactly my point. Why their lawyers have to be able to suppress things now. I promise you, I'm sitting here because my lawyers was able to suppress things that had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
But if you put it in front of 12 people that don't know you and they start talking about these things that had nothing to do with anything, they're not going to believe you're innocent. Mm-hmm. And that's what we was able to do. I promise you. And
the guilty cloud starts to like waft over the 12
because
eventually.
It's all perception. It's not about truth. When you get in that courtroom, it's perception. I was more worried about if they're 50 Cent fans than if they fucking cared about the case. Yo, you laughing? We had a questionnaire.
Yeah.
See, we had a jury selection person. They better get one. Josh Dubin, best in the game. This motherfucker had a questionnaire for every potential juror that they had to fill out, and that was one of the questions. Do you fuck with 50? Because you know the process, how that works. When you're the prosecutor, I'm the defense, and then we have, let's say, I forget how many, 50 people, and we're dwindling down to 12. We have
jury
X
selection
amount of blocks. They have X amount of blocks, meaning he's off the trial.
Yeah.
He can't be a jury. She can't. But it's very...
it's like playing chess.
It's like playing chess because we know what we want. So we can't let them see that.
Yeah, you can't lead too much.
Understand? No, this shit is, man, this is chess, not chess.
Yeah,
you basically trying to like fake them out almost.
Yes.
Like, we want this motherfucker, but we don't want them to know we want this.
Certain people, they look at certain people that they know is fucking hip hop. They didn't want on the trial.
Yeah,
because we're hip hop.
Right.
No.
By nature.
Right away. Get him out of here. You know, the older white lady, keep her. We want her. We're like, fuck her. She gotta go.
She gotta go.
We seen her in video steamrolling doggy style albums. Keep her on
the irony of it all. Like, I'm Trinidadian, right? So at the irony of it all, there's a West Indian lady. West Indian women from a jail is the ones that convict the most. Guilty. You buy, no, you're not dead. So we had this one juror on there, Gloria. I forget her last name. I'm sorry. Damn. But Gloria was from, I believe it was from Barbados. Mm-hmm. And our lawyers wanted her out, and the prosecutors wanted her in, and she ended up making it. Mm-hmm. She was the one that said she's not letting us go to jail. She was the one that made sure that everybody was saying not guilty. When the first verdict came in, I heard it was 8-4. Not guilty 8, guilty 4. Mm-hmm. And she was like, no, I'm not letting nothing happen to you boys, because she seen my family every day. She's like, that could have been me. We went in the back and talked to her. That's my family, she said. She's like, yo, no, and I wasn't letting nothing happen to you. There's a French dude, white dude. He said, you guys are guilty. When we went in the back, he said, you guys are guilty. You lucky I didn't, it wasn't up to me. I said, damn. I said, we just won. How do we? Right. He said, yeah, but I didn't want to keep going. They gave me enough. I said, but we didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I was ready to go home and watch Law and Order.
He was adamant about, I don't know if you didn't do nothing. I said, well, you know what? Thank you anyway.
Yeah.
Boom.
So this is after the trial.
This is after the trial. The jurors asked for me and Irv. They asked the judge, can we come back and meet them? That's how much we moved them. Our trial was different. And my lawyers was crying. They said they never seen nothing like this ever in their history. You know, the way we had 2 courtrooms. We had our courtroom packed, and we had to get another one where they put a TV to watch.
Damn.
You know, but my family and friends was in our main one. All of the fans was in the other one, and they said they never seen this through deliberation every day, packed. They said no one comes for deliberation. They come for verdict. They don't come every day, packed, every day, sitting through deliberation where there's nothing going on. Yeah. You just waiting. They act in the back arguing. Yeah. Deliberation took a week. And we was very worried because Friday's the last day of court. 5 o'clock it ends. And if we go to Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they get a chance to read news.
Get a whole weekend to think about this shit.
Perception might change because they read shit. They see shit. Anything could go on. So we were stressing. That verdict came in for us at 4:59. You hear that knock on that door. You're like, oh, it's going down. Oh, shit, it's going down.
Good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah, but that's what you heard. The clerk knocks on that door, and she comes in, and she's like, all rise, Judge Stan, and we have a verdict. But it was right before the weekend. And we thought we was like, fuck, we going to the weekend, man.
Right.
We didn't want that shit. But
so you said they asked to meet y'all.
The jurors asked to come back to talk to them and meet them after the
non-verdict, non-guilty verdict.
Yeah. They asked the jury,
is that normal or is that
not normal?
Yeah, that's what I kind of was thinking.
Completely not normal. That's what my lawyer was like. This is unbelievable. They never seen nothing like this. It was really out of a movie. Like the whole response, like the crowd went crazy. Yeah, order in the court, order in the court. You know, the whole shit when the first not guilty, which was my brother, wasn't me. Which, you know, my brother, I always tell he don't realize his actions sometimes. So we're holding hands. And he's first. Irving Lorenzo versus the United States of America. Conspiracy to money laundering, not guilty. The money laundering, not guilty. As soon as he got that, he dropped my hand. They didn't read me not guilty.
Right.
And he looked at me like, good luck. Yeah, he don't realize his actions. That's what he did. You know, like we was holding hands, and he had this V piece, which is like Debbie's his ex-wife's mother. It was a piece he made for her when she passed. So he always says she looking out for him and everything. He made that piece. He got that in that one hand, and me and him, we like this. And when he got not guilty, he went, you know, good luck, nigga. I'm saying
Good luck, nigga.
That's funny as shit.
Yeah. But you know, everything worked out. Because if it didn't, I'd have probably choked her right there. I'd have been on another trial.
Been like Homer and Bart Simpson.
Yeah. No, but that shit is crazy because that's how I felt. Like when he let his hand go, but I know in his mind he's just clapping and happy.
Right.
He definitely looked at me and then in my mind, I'm a jokester. I like making jokes and shit. My mind was like, this nigga's looking at me like, damn, nigga, if you ain't good, hope you all right. Oh man, but you know, I with that whole thing, I just tell Gunna and them, man, you have to really trust your attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Without knowing any parts of the case. I didn't study it, nothing. My lawyer told me, you make the snowballs, I throw them. I didn't understand that until I started really diving in. He's basically telling you got to give me the information.
Right.
And I'm going to protect you because I wasn't there. Whatever happened, I wasn't there.
Two people you don't lie to is your lawyer and your doctor.
I just was about to say,
That's your wife?
Depends.
Just checking.
Lawyer and your doctor.
Depends. But we were having a conversation the other day with our friend Kev, who's an attorney. We were talking about, like you just said, trust in your attorney, and he was saying how hard it is for people to do that, like trust in their attorney.
Black people in particular.
Black people in particular, in our culture and community, we have like a obscure view of that side of things. So, what was it that made you trust Shargel as opposed to? I'm pretty sure you saw a bunch of attorneys.
White Jewish man, right?
Yeah,
I love that man. And again, it was my first day. I go on good. I just said earlier, I come in and feel energy, and I interviewed every attorney.
Mm-hmm.
The best black attorney, Ted Wells, trash. In my opinion, why?
Bong.
Why? He comes in his tailor-made suit. I walk in his office, and he's sitting there, and I'm like, yo, I wanted to talk about this, what I'm going through. He said, first thing he said to me was, my retainer is $3 million. I said, nigga, if I didn't have the money, I wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here if I couldn't be here.
I went to Brofman and all of the best white attorneys. My retainer is $3 million. It's like they all call each other.
It's a script.
Yo, Gotti coming. He just left my office.
He's here.
I see him walking down the street.
Yeah, he called $3 million retainer. I'm like, if I didn't have the money, I wouldn't be here. I go to Shargel's office. He says, let's talk about what you got to do. He didn't ask about money. He talked about how he's going to save or protect me and what they're going to do. He gave me real things that's about to start happening in my life with the feds. I walked out the office. I called my brother and said, I got my turn. His retainer was $3 million.
Right.
Before you get out of it, $3 million. And the elevator on the left.
No, he never mentioned money until I said, you're my attorney. And he said, my
Retainer's $3 million.
You couldn't be able to, yes, I got you.
Yeah.
And we sent the money, and that's Irv's retainer, $3 million. We left court. Gerald Lefcourt, great attorney. Gerald Lefcourt, great attorney. If y'all don't know his history, he was fighting for the Panthers, Black Panthers and everything.
Yeah.
Won a bunch of cases for them. Another Jewish man.
Yeah.
White. I just say that because of the times we're in and all of the things that's going on, and it's like, come on, man. We all do have to deal with each other, and there are good and there are bad in anything.
Absolutely.
So you gonna get bad niggas and you gonna get bad Jews. You gonna get good niggas and you gonna get good Jews.
That's what you
All right,
always
what it
do.
is, yo.
All right, fuck it. Let's go there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. We hitting the button. We hitting the button. We had it for. I had a roadmap of how I wanted this to go.
We was gonna do it around like 1 hour and 52 minutes.
Just so I know, I didn't know nothing what they gonna ask
Nothing.
me. This is
I
just
asked him, "Did you
organic.
want to see it?" He said, "No."
But it's the times we're in right now, and you know, it's like a lot of this, and it's like, come on, man, stop it.
The artist formerly known as Mr. West. I know you have very strong opinions about him. I know you support him on some things, don't support him on other things. Yeah. What do you make of what appears to be a very nasty, very public meltdown he's having right now?
Again, I don't. I just literally talked to Dame maybe 3-4 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Dame.
Shout out Dame.
Dame's one of our heroes, man.
Yeah, we want to get Dame.
We love
is
Dame.
a monster. Dame, we spoke, and I just mentioned it in passing because I know his relationship. We was talking about other things. It wasn't like I called or he didn't call me to speak about this. But it came up because it is headline news. It's everything. So
it's everyday news too.
It's everyday news, and it's overly drawn out. But it's just one man. Put it in perspective. Man.
Yeah,
it's one man, and then what I tell people. I have a brother-in-law that's Jewish. My sister married a brother-in-law, a Jewish man, and great dude, David Raven, amazing. Again, end of the day, with Kanye, we're talking Kanye. He's saying such crazy things, but I said, if we just sat there and said, let's be open-minded, right, to freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm. Which is out the window.
Which is what it should be,
yeah,
right? We're in America. We could do these podcasts and shit on anybody, the president, and we don't have to worry about them killing us. Yeah. You go to another country, they're killing us.
Yeah.
So this is what we have here. We do have these liberties and freedom, no matter how left or right-winged it may be, according to whoever is listening.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm sure the KKK has made way more crazier stances and speeches, but it's not publicized, it's not brought up, and I don't see anyone trying to tear them down the way they should be torn down.
Right.
So if we say freedom of speech is free for them, then it has to be free for Kanye. What he's saying doesn't mean everyone has to agree with it, right? Mm-hmm. And again, that is not a problem. Here, if I just said back, I talked to my sister, Nikki, her husband, her wife, his wife, and I talked to her because she said, "What's going on, Kanye?" Man, I said, just fall back, I said, what he's doing has never been done, right? It hasn't been approached in this way from someone at his stature. Let's say that.
Yes.
I'm sure lower level people might have done it, but they're not at his stature, his level.
And because they're lower level, people just summarily dismiss them. You crazy motherfucker, get you up out of here.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
It means nothing. They only care because he's very influential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he may take over.
He could make change.
Yeah.
So let's say, what if Kanye is doing this just to say, he said something about the Jews, again, he said with Hitler, he said,
I admire Hitler.
Well, again, he said he did great things. I don't want to get into the admire shit, man. This is, again, Hitler's one of the most devious niggas ever.
Yeah.
Ever in the world.
Like he hit.
But what I'm saying is he's probably, if I try to rationalize his thought,
yes,
he's trying to take on something that's so insurmountable, so big, right?
That he has to use extreme examples.
We've been suppressed for over 400 years. That's what he's really facing, whether people understand it or not. Even though he's reached such goals and achieved such amazing things, they're like, he's achieved it already.
Yeah.
But if he's trying to change the entire culture and thought, that's what he keeps saying. I don't know if anyone hears him. Why do we have to say, if you really in a religious person, aren't you supposed to forgive? He said. And that is a real statement.
Yeah.
And it's not, again, when we talk about slavery, why are we talking about slavery? So that was all.
Yeah, they tell us to get over it.
It's kind of fits in that zone when you get down to it, and that's what he gets even more outrageous with his statements and
yeah.
Kanye West is fucking Kanye West. He's trying to, in his mind, he already sees maybe utopia of what he thinks is gonna do, and anyone like a Kanye West believes they could build utopia of whatever they're thinking.
Yeah.
He's a master manifester, as my man De Niro says. De Niro calls people like successful people master manifestors. They envision it, and then they make it happen.
That's why he always refers himself to like Walt Disney and everybody else. Yeah.
He sees something that we're not seeing. The next question I asked everybody is, do you consider Kanye West a genius? Is he a genius in your opinion? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, you both say yes. I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to specify genius. He's not Einstein.
He's a creative genius.
Creative genius.
Yeah, Kanye said himself he doesn't read. So it's like, yeah, in the technical form, yes. But when you talk about creatively, that's...
Okay, so is Steve Jobs a genius? Because Steve Jobs, I would say, was a genius.
Absolutely.
Right?
A genius in a different form, yeah.
He's a creative genius. He couldn't build Apple if it was up to him, but he knew how to get the people. He gave the vision.
Yeah, he was like the orchestrator.
When people don't understand genius, that genius is that vision too.
Mm-hmm.
Visionary people are geniuses.
Yeah.
Different form. They're not the physical that could figure out the math, quant shit, and all of that physics and get you from here to there. That's a different genius, right? So his manifesting is of that form, from creativity. And how can I really like Kanye West. Don't agree with what he's saying. I liked him, and he's making it hard, and that's my biggest problem with the nigga right now.
That's what I was going to say.
My biggest problem with him is he's creating a divide and conquer. Here I am, a huge Kanye supporter, knew the man, knows the man, everything. And I can't get behind his actions and what he's doing, but I will be open-minded enough to say, as a black man, maybe we have to allow him that crazy run, because no one before him has ever changed anything.
Yeah.
Right? So if we truly want change, if someone says we truly want change, then just maybe you got to shut the fuck up and let a nigga to do what he got to do, because maybe he's the one that's going to figure something out if he's that genius, if we're saying that he's that genius. Right? It's like when he says to Elon Musk, he says to everyone with Elon Musk, leave that man alone and let him do what he's doing.
Right.
Because he says he's a genius. Okay. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not, again, please.
Not co-signing a message.
I'm not talking that Jew shit. I'm talking from how do you break the oppression. He's upset, his sneaker line. Again, I put anyone in the seat. Let me take $1 billion from you and let me see how you act. Mm-hmm. Like this. Let me take $1 billion from anybody and let me see, and let me see how they act.
So you take $100 from a couple niggas.
$375, nigga.
Like, I'm a person that puts things in perspective, and I'm not saying I love Hitler. I hate Hitler. Hitler wanted to kill niggas too.
For sure.
Fuck Hitler.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. So I just was talking to Ben Levine. That's one of my Jewish friends. Again, he owns all of him and his father. They own a bunch of buildings in New York City. Shout out Ben. We was just together before the fight yesterday. And he mentioned Kyrie. I said, please don't talk about Kyrie, because Kyrie, in my opinion, didn't do anything wrong.
Nothing.
See, Kyrie just posted something that he found because he was looking for his name and what it meant, and it led him to being a black Jew, a black Hebrew. Mm-hmm. And he put this movie up that he found after that search of his name and posted it. That's it. He didn't do nothing but post it. And then when he found out it was negative, he took it down, apologized 3 times, different apologies.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't.
And he added context and color to the greater conversation that he was trying to have when he talked about his researching his ancestors and all of that.
Whether you like the man or not is a different story.
It made a ton of sense.
And it's like, come on, man, leave that man alone. He didn't do nothing wrong. He apologized. He said, I didn't realize it had some negative connotations inside of it, and it was wrong misinformation, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I mean, I'm not anti-Semitic. He said, I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
If anyone checks his history before this, just look at all the things he's done and how much money he's given to organizations and helped out people, kids. Like, you can't change a man's heart. Mm-hmm. I was just looking at an interview that said, and Muhammad Ali was talking about, it's a man's heart is who a man is. Mm-hmm. So if you have that kind of in your heart to hurt, maim, that's the type of man you are. Mm-hmm. If it's not in your heart, you can't do it. If you're here to help and it's in your heart to help, that's what you're gonna do. And I believe that too. When I heard Muhammad Ali, I was like, man, that's a great analogy, the way to look at men, people. Like, it's really your heart. We have to see someone's heart, and then we know who they are.
Yeah, true.
I think the most annoying and hurtful part about like the fallout from the Kyrie situation is that at the core of it, he was just being intellectually like curious and trying to figure some things out. And then they spun it into this whole thing to where they even used our people that look like us.
Let's check the Nets owner. When people start casting stones, right? I dealt with this with the feds because we was up for this thing, and it was money laundering. They tried to portray us as killers, everything.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I win the trial, and no one wanted to do business with us. No one. During the trial, forget about it. After you win, you think everything's coming back, and no one wants to do. But then you do the research on these executives. I had an executive that didn't do business with me, was supposed to give me $10 million to start a sports management company. True story. Mm-hmm. Company named Further Lane. I'll give his name, Michael Araz. Again, the guy's he's a fucking scammer. He's supposed to give me $10 million. He had the money, though. A scammer in the sense of insider traders stuff. He's a
gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Get to find out Further Lanes no longer exists, everything because of all of the criminal activity he did. See, but he didn't want to do business when he found out, and I told him everything.
Yeah.
So I was transparent, and I said, Michael, I said, I gave you everything. He said, but I can't do business. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I said, no problem, whatever. End of the day, I lost so much business because of the same people that was casting stones, the criminals that fucking said.
Yeah, they didn't want you to come up.
I'm not the criminal. They
didn't want to get in bed with you because then it.
And this is all I'm saying with these kind of things. It's like the people casting stones, like that owner of the Nets. Look at the business he's in. He was inside of, some really devious things in different countries to make his wealth. Mm-hmm. No one questioned that. They allowed him to do it.
They're saying that there's presently suspicion that he's funding the like the racial separation going on in China right now with the Gerber Muslims.
Come on, he's an Asian man, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he's involved.
Yeah.
Look. Now they gonna come at me. Fuck, man. Y'all got me in the middle of some bullshit.
We riding with you. Fuck it.
Yeah, you be involved. That's funny as shit.
Even I said I'm Trinidadian. My grandfather on my father's side is Filipino. If I show you a picture of him, he looks Chinese. Please, I'm the furthest from any of this racial shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pro-black, and that's the bottom line. My mother's black. She was raised up, and she would tell me, you don't know what hard is. Walking out that door and seeing someone hung on a pole, that's hard. My mother's 89. This ain't my grandmother. This is my mother.
Your mother, yeah.
So that's what raised me. So when you hear me talk, don't get it fucked up. I think we all could get together, but I am absolutely 1,000% pro-black because of that. My father was Trinidadian Filipino. And so I'm from a very diverse upbringing.
Yeah.
I have my father's sister, my aunt, who's my godmother, Auntie Rini, married a Japanese man. That's my godfather, Uncle Kenji. Kenji Yamashita. This is family.
Yeah.
Niggas can't fuck with me.
Right.
That's why I don't care what they say, because I'm just giving perspective. And if you want to ask me about me, then come and talk to me about me.
Indeed.
What do I feel? I'm giving you perspective on a situation and how to actually maybe the other side could hear it and understand us better.
Yeah.
And understand why that maybe their stance is a little more stronger than it should be. And it's all about fair. If we're talking equal, we're in 2022. When is it ever going to be equal? It's never.
Never.
Until we do something drastic.
Yeah.
That's what they're afraid of. That drasticness. And if the fucking NBA players, all them punk ass motherfuckers, were supposed to stand with Kyrie, and I guarantee we would have seen a drastic change. If they said, you know what? There was that one game that every team played, first time ever in the NBA.
Yeah, it was 16 games.
Right. Every team played that day. First time they scheduled every team to play. That was the day they wasn't supposed to show up.
Supposed to walk off.
You know, money's a motherfucker because everyone wants the money, but you can't want money and want change because then I could buy your bitch ass every time, and that's what these dudes do.
No bullshit.
The powers that be, they buy you, and then you cooperate. Let's go back in the day, house nigga, field nigga. Now when you in the house, you never could go back outside because the field niggas was gonna slaughter your ass because the way you treated them and the way you didn't stand with them, and this is where we're at. See, I'm a Nat Turner type of person. Right. If you don't know Nat, that's your problem.
Right. Do the knowledge.
Yeah. But that's the type of person.
Last question on Kanye. Yeah. There are people out there, even black people, that feel like he's a vehicle for white supremacy. Being as though you know him, would you agree or disagree with that sentiment? You know, it's very questionable his people he's associating with right now. And it's like, you know, what do they always say? The devil always was his biggest trick was he made you believe he didn't exist. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Yeah, and it's like I hope he's smart enough to understand that that some of those people he's dealing with wants to see his demise. Right, they want to see him dead or whatever. And if he doesn't understand, again, he's just one man, right? He's just one man. And again, if Kanye was to ever hear this, I want to know that I love him, man, and just hold your head and keep working on whatever you're trying to do. You could create whatever you think you could create. Just figure out a better way to do it. Yeah. But I don't know if there is. I just said, in order to make change, it's going to get ugly. Yeah. That's what I see. That's why I can't just nail him and just hammer him. I don't condone the things, but at the end of the day, to make change, it will not be a good time. Yeah, and a point the change that we're really truly talking about.
Yeah, change is a mess. Right? It's like remodeling a kitchen. It's fucking chaos in there. It's just what it is.
It is what it is. You got to rip down to build back up, and it's like this is what has not been done forever.
We've kind of just like asked, and then something happens.
Somewhere they take it away. Yeah, they take it away, and there's nothing but fear from the people that have all this wealth and equity. Yeah. Their fear. It's the same fear when I remember when we first made our first money and we moved in the neighborhood. It's that same fear. Right. What are you niggas doing here? Yeah. It's that same fear. And unless you experience it, you don't know it. See, and that's the part that they don't understand. Unless you experience it and see it, you don't know it. So you just, I forget her name. It's Jane, she's a, who I'm talking about? Jane, it's a white lady, and she does like education for us.
Jane Elliott.
Who? Elliott, I think it is.
The older white lady.
Yes.
Oh, Jane Elliott, I think her name.
Jane Elliott, I think.
The ones that she does the.
And she said
the things where she puts black people on this side, white people on this side.
Yeah. She makes she's in front of the audience, and it's all predominantly white, and she says, how many of you want to change places with a black person? Raise your hand. And she said, no one raised their hand.
Yeah, Jane Elliott. She's a diversity trainer. Yeah.
And it's Jane Elliott. You said it. And then she said, no one raised their hand. So she said, maybe you didn't understand my question. Yeah. How many of you would be willing to change places and no one raised their hand? She said, well, that's admission to what we're talking about. The fact that no one would raise their hand and say they would switch places with a black person knows that they're not being treated right and they don't want it for themselves. It's simple as that. How much clearer does it have to fucking be?
There's a TikTok going around. Have you seen with the two white kids? Have y'all seen that? No. Anybody? But it's two white brothers sitting there like little kids on the couch. And the white kid, he's a little older, maybe like he's 6, he's like 4. And the 6-year-old is like, black people do not get treated as good as white people in this country. And the little one was like, are we white people? He's like, yes. He's like, whew. Yeah. But that shit is like going viral now. And it's like, even like you know it. We all know it. We exist in it. But Chris Rock say it all the time. There's no one in this auditorium that's white that'll change places with me, and I'm rich.
Yeah, poor white people won't trade places with rich black people in most instances.
No, but the way she did it, and it coming from a white woman, that was so powerful to me.
Yeah, she was excellent.
It's like you're putting it right in their face, and they still reject it because they know if, let's say the shoe's on the other foot, will we give it up? Will we give the advantages up?
Yeah.
I don't know if we would like just here, take it, fuck it, let's play square and that's it.
Yeah.
Like fuck it. I need this head start. I got a family to take care of, man. Fuck out of here.
Man.
It's crazy. I understand that side too. Like I understand it. Who doesn't want to have all of these things in their favor? Like, it's just what it is. And it's like, how do you fix it? It's if in order to truly fix it, it would be an ugly day before it gets good. So,
I mean, if anything, I commend Kanye for being willing to
expose things.
One, and sacrifice himself financially for some form of a greater good. His initial thing of what he did made a lot of sense. The subsequent follow-up is like, all right, nigga, I don't know if I know what you're doing now.
You're going too far.
You figure Kanye got his name and his start in the music industry, which you were a part of. And it's like, you know, I think we kind of all understand that ownership and bad deals. You know, you speak up a lot about that with Avengers Music. How bad and terrible these deals are that are just like, they throw the money in your face like a carrot. People run with it.
Well, you know, I don't really talk about how bad they are. I tell you, you make a decision.
Right.
So as an artist, producer, whoever you are, you're making a physical decision at that moment where you are, based on where you are in your life at that moment, for X amount of money and resources from a record label. Mm-hmm. See, if you put it, again, put it in perspective, the deals stop looking so terrible. The difference is when you change your level of growth and you start going, trajectory is going this way, you're supposed to go back to them and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And change your deal. Now, they're not just going to turn it away. That's the reason they invested. They took the risk. You know, a record label signs 10 artists, one is successful. Mm-hmm. That's not a great percentage.
Yeah, that's the music business. Mm-hmm.
That is the ratio for music business.
Yeah.
Sign 10, one wins. Do it again. But that one pays for everything, and the other 9 will pay for themselves in the long term.
Yeah, in time.
It's
like a 35-year model or whatever.
It's a business model, right? And this is how they structured it. So it's not, I never want to, my goal is to get rid of Universal, Warner Brothers, Sony. So believe me, I'm not speaking on behalf, but I'm speaking so people stop looking at it as a crutch. Oh, this is a bad deal. That deal might change your fucking life. I can show you way more rich motherfuckers that got those deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in those shitty deals and made a lot of money versus the independent artist that isn't making the money, right? That didn't take the deal.
There's been this thing going on the last 3-4 years about just like, and Dame really started the conversation, but Dame's a different animal because he follows through with actual execution. So there's this conversation around like independence and maintaining ownership and this and this and this. But a lot of people are resolute in like owning 100% of nothing, as opposed to the example that you given where it's like, yo, you take the deal to get in the door and then you work around your shit. Birdman famously said, every contract can be recontracted.
Yeah.
I wouldn't listen too much to that. But yes, he's right. But the question is, who's willing to do it?
Yeah.
The reality of what you're saying too, from that standpoint, is the reality is everybody is not meant to be an owner.
Absolutely.
There's way more followers than leaders, so how could you be an owner if you're really a follower? The world is mostly of followers, which means they're mostly of workers, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's about yourself, your mental self, your mental health. And if you're happy going to work 9 to 5, coming home and living your life and doing what you do, what is wrong with that? You know, this social media climate made it like it's the curse if you're not owning everything, and
absolutely.
Yeah, you're not even built. You don't even have the knowledge. You don't have the information, no resources, and you think you could just start and own things. Good luck, God bless.
And a lot of people,
I'm not trying to say don't try it, good luck, God bless. I'm going to say there's going to be more failures than winners.
And a lot of people are finding out the hard way that shit is not an easy route. Like, that shit is hard. When you got to eat what you kill.
Say that.
When you got to eat what you kill, sometimes you don't eat. Like, and a lot of people are signing up for the glorious side of entrepreneurship. And I'm a CEO and I'm a boss babe and all of this shit, and not considering the work, because it's like you could go work
I get on women, man.
You could go work
fucking shit up.
You could go work 40 you could go work 40 50 hours for somebody and get a check, or you could go work for yourself and you got to work 90 hours. Like, there's just no getting around that shit.
Women, they really fucking up a lot of things, man. I know, God bless, Kevin Samuels is not here, but he wasn't lying with a lot of this shit, man.
A lot of them coming back around and saying that he was right too. A year or so later, they coming back around.
You're the only woman in the room. I'm sorry.
Guilty by default.
You know, one of the things I've been really heavy on with women, and again, I'm for all this empowerment and helping them, but we lost our families because of that. You know, whether they want to admit it or not, right?
TD Jake said it. They got mad at him.
But we lose the family. The woman is really the family figure. My mother is the matriarch of the family. She raised 8 kids. My pops could have never did that. You know what I'm saying? And he's a great man. You understand what I mean? Yeah. But he did his role. Yeah. You know, that partnership is being lost with all of these times right now. That relationship between a man and a woman is, these Z's don't want to get married. You talk to these Z's, they ready to do all types of crazy shit. These niggas is different. They different. But it doesn't matter. You're falling into the problem because you know, I don't want to talk about how old you are, but
all right. Again, wasn't on the agenda. Fuck it. I say all the time in private. And like on our Patreon and shit, but I think the biggest problem with like women in general is that they don't share game with each other the same way that like men do. Like I know, like I have 20-year-old homie.
What we talking about? Because they do
life game.
Hey, they do book clubs, cooking shit.
But when it comes to like dating, relationships, men, best practices, shit like that, they don't share that.
And we're the easiest creatures to understand on this planet. I promise you, like, a man is simple, man. I have a saying, earth women are easy, because I understand women and I know what they're looking for, what they want. So, and people's like, what do you mean? What planet? I say, if you planet Earth, you're easy. You're a woman. You're simple to understand. But, you know, men, you know, the hardest part for a man is to understand when is he ready. If they don't figure out when a man is ready, they're fucked. Yeah. Because a man could tell you he's ready, but he ain't ready. Yeah. And then that turns into all types of other problems down the road. But if a man's ready, a woman is ready for probably the biggest blessing in her life. Because he's going to make sure she's good in every way he can.
That's a super gem.
Yeah. But a man has to be ready. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality. That's the reality of life with this shit. And I got daughters. My daughter, I talk to her all the time. My sisters, a bunch of nieces. I give them game because I said, you know, it's funny. I'll give you my daughters when she first got her boyfriend, her first boyfriend. Dad, I love him and this and that. And I said, how the fuck you know what love is, yo? What did he do? He's my best friend. I said, how's he your best friend? Did you go through something? You can't have a best friend if y'all didn't go through fucked up shit. Yeah. If it was always good, you don't know who that motherfucker is. Because when it's hard times is when you know who you got. Real talk. Not the good times. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there and I'm just laughing at her and she's, you're going to like him. I said, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm not going to like him. Mind you, she's 16. This is her first boyfriend. I wouldn't let her date or nothing until she was 16. She got her first
teenage boyfriend. Love is intense.
She didn't have no social media, nothing until then. Yeah. I wouldn't let her use it because I didn't feel it was for kids. So she has it. She gets her, and then she's telling me I'm going to love him and this and that. He played football and all of this shit. And I said, listen, that nigga ain't going to be around. And if he is around, then I'll learn to like him. I said, but go ahead and do what you got to do. He's going to know he can't fuck with you. That's what I'm going to do for you. Right. He's going to know he can't treat you any other way but the right way. That's all. I said, there's a way to break up. I broke up with your mother, no problem. We good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a way to break up. And that's a man, that takes maturity and growth. I don't care if the nigga's out fucking every bitch. You better not do nothing to him either. That's what I told her.
Yeah.
Leave the nigga alone and go get something else. That's it. I said, how many people's really with people from 16 to? You know what I'm saying? That's my mother and father's story. I don't see that no more.
That's a generational thing. That don't really happen no more.
Mom and dad did that high school shit and never left.
Pre-war and shit.
Pre-war.
Yeah, that's pre-war shit. Yeah.
The big war.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah, that nitty, that's before the war. But that's real shit. And if a woman understands that, they could really dominate. I really believe women are way better than men at all things.
At everything.
No bullshit. I'm a man, and I'm like, man, if they only thing they don't have is our power and strength, right? But other than that, in the sense of physical power and strength, they have that mentally better than us.
And they got that intuition shit down.
Shit, if we had to have babies, we have nobody on this earth. This podcast wouldn't exist. Just that part alone. Niggas would never carry a baby.
My knee be killing me. I'd be like barely moving and shit. Real shit. Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
That's real. Yeah. Right at the clinic. Immediately. That's real. That's
this
real.
shit is different, but women is so they're from a business standpoint, I mean, they know how to nurture and build that too.
Yeah.
Just like a family. But if you do that, you can't, what do they say? You can't serve two masters.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a trade-off. Kevin Samuels.
You want a family? Like, that's a sacrifice. In life, we all have to give something up to get something.
Yeah.
If you want to build this podcast, it's time you can't be with your family. It's time you're going to be here and you can't do things. This is your sacrifice.
Yep.
And that's why it's not meant for everyone to own things, because that is the sacrifice. I have a billionaire friend. I don't want to mention his name. Jewish. One of my mentors. Great man. And he has like resentment for himself because he's not the best father. He's in his 70s now. And I told him, when I talked to him, he was in his 60s, but I told him, I said, listen, you're not dead. You could fix that.
Yeah.
I said, and any of your boys who are now men should understand what you're saying. His daughter as well. They're grown up. They should understand why daddy wasn't home. He built his business from zero.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He's a Brooklyn dude. Built his shit, multi-billion, multi. He's up.
First generation.
Yeah.
Millionaire and billionaire.
Yeah. But he built it. You couldn't be home with your fucking kids.
Yeah.
You couldn't take them to the park and play with them because he was like, my son is such a great dad. And this is his thing to me. He never confided to his boys to tell them that.
Right.
He's confiding in me. And I'm like, yo, talk to them. You're not dead.
Yeah.
Then they're trying to be you. Right? They want to be in his footsteps. And I'm like, do they not realize you're one of one?
Right.
You are different.
Yeah, y'all like your kids.
So they can't do what he like the business that they do. It's a hedge fund business. I'll give you that. It's a hedge fund business, and they don't know how to do it. Like they're losing money when they get it. Yeah. And he's killing it. I'm like, they're not you.
Yeah, he's a unicorn.
He like, y'all gotta leave the house, man. Like, real.
Listen to me, they're super up. Believe me when I tell you, they're super up. Again, it's a great understanding of life. Like when you want something, you have to give something up. He gave up being the best dad. But being the best dad would have probably meant you're going to be broke in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Or you going
My father was the incredible father. We was broke in Hollis, Queens.
Right.
Right? It's what it is. My mother was a housewife. She raised 8 great people. No one's on drugs. Everyone's good. That's what she did. Great moral values, and everyone's doing great in society and doing great. It's like, life is what you make it to be. If you think that's great, that's fucking great. Yeah. If you think you need $1 billion to be great, then you got to go figure out how to get that billion, or else you're always going to feel like you're not great.
Yeah, you're going to feel unfulfilled.
Yeah. And this is that part right there. You know what I'm saying? But
that's absolutely real. We talk about that a lot. Like, what is it that makes it for you? I think people at times will like look at Instagram or look at somebody they admire and be like, oh, I got to do that same thing. And if I don't get that watch, or I don't get that house, or I don't get that vacation, I ain't shit. In reality, it's like that's probably not your path, and you looking at some shit that's altered.
It's just not it.
Yeah, that's real.
And that when you say that path, we all have that. For some reason, it always draws you to that path, and that's kind of how you figure out in life. Like I'm 55, certain things in my life has been a consistent music. If I left it, it always put me back. Every time, it's like
Godfather 3.
This is something that I'm supposed to be doing. And I mean, I had other lucrative businesses from hedge funds to insurance, and I always went right back into the music. I'm here at Venture Music. Sign up now. Don't forget.
Big
all
facts.
independent artists.
Let's transition. We talking about money, so we can make a transition.
Yeah.
Somebody real close to you, somebody that we all in the room admire, just got a big giant bag of money dropped in their lap.
Wait a minute. Yeah, he got a
brother Irv.
Yeah, he got a bag.
$100 million for the Murder Inc. Masters Pub and all of the IP as it relates to.
It was a $300 million deal. 100 in
yeah,
cash,
and then 200 on the
200
line of credit.
Yeah.
And then the 200 line of credit to finance visionary ideas, tales, and other TV and film opportunities.
Absolutely.
So
it's a transition. Like people, go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
ask.
So no,
I'm sorry.
My first question was, how happy were you for Irv? Considering all of the crazy shit y'all have been through.
I told him.
And the fact that the music industry kind of tried to write him out of history because of that situation.
They can't, but they definitely want to write him out. We got too many hit records. But yes, I told him in a text. I could probably pull it up off air and show you the text I wrote to him when he first got that deal. We knew it was coming, so it kept being talked about. I said, I don't get excited till things are here. I don't talk about women having babies till the babies
right.
It's like you're pregnant, great, I'm praying for you. It's about becoming, to this earth. It's like real life. It's live.
Indeed.
So I would tell him, I said, man, this is amazing. It's a body of work that was created by both of us. I helped him with all of the producers and everything, and it's just you never see it in that way until it happens.
Yeah.
It's weird. And when it came, I told him I'm gonna cry for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the blood, sweat, and tears that went into getting to this point.
Yeah.
Just think how long. Again, I put up a post yesterday, and it said about they're gonna think it was an overnight success. We're 35 years in.
Exactly.
To this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which we went through the whole history last time.
We're in the 80s doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's 2022.
Right.
Now, we made money, but to get to that point, because that number.
Because I've seen him in, kind of when the deal got announced, you can kind of breadcrumb backward and see him hinting at this in little pieces of media that he was doing.
Manifest. I talked about Master Manifest.
And the number kept going up. Every time he talked about it, the number went up. He did an initial interview. I forget what platform it was on, but he was saying it was 50, 60.
Yeah.
Then it was 80, and then it ballooned to 300 with the line of credit and everything
shout
like
out
that.
Brian Robinson, my attorney, that was Irv's attorney on the deal. One of Irv's attorneys on the deal. But Brian found the additional revenue that was missing.
Yeah.
Because Universal was never paying properly. So when you do your evaluation, right, and the money, the multiple of that number that you're getting, equals this number.
Right.
But if they're shorting you,
it fucks the multiple up.
There's a big lawsuit gonna be coming with Universal because they stole for so many years.
And Irv said in the EYL interview, he said that right after the case, Universal came and tried to do some flim-flam shit and offer y'all $500K for the masters, and they no, that was a fair deal. It was no streaming then. We didn't try to fuck you and blah blah blah.
Fair? Irv said it. I don't like to talk with my brother with things, but I'm probably a better math student than he is.
Yeah,
I'll say that for sure. I'm better.
Yeah,
at a math and numbers, and he's good, but I'm really good. But again, when he said that, if you're sitting there saying, okay, Irv the masters was spitting off, let's use a simple number, not whether it's real or not, but let's say it's $1 million.
I was gonna say million
every
a
year, spitting off $1 million, and then they're offering you, fuck it, because they use 500,000. Let's make it 100,000, which it was making way more than that.
Yeah,
I'll say that much.
right.
But let's say Irv's masters was making $100,000 a year, and then they put an offer of 500,000. Which is what Irv said on the interview. Mm-hmm. That's a 5 multiple.
Right. What's the industry multiple?
15, 25. There's no fucking way
That's fair.
that multiple makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Got it.
Right? I don't want to keep going in, but when he said it, it's like anyone from the industry that knows it knows that what he said would mean they did try to rob you.
Exactly.
He said they didn't because he doesn't want to throw Zach under the bus.
Because
Zach is the one who brought him
Olivier.
Exactly. Man, you did your homework.
I'm nice, man.
But he's the one who brought Olivier.
Yeah.
And Olivier, being an honorable person, honored what
the true multiple.
And that's how we got to the 300.
Yeah.
But he got him an extra. He got him a lot, tens of millions more.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson, when he found some things that was left out, that was omitted from Universal, that they weren't paying. So now there's a lawsuit that Olivier will be pressing on in, because if they wasn't paying, it's time to pay the piper.
Right.
You owe, and that's what labels do. You know, Tommy Mottola would say, if a judge didn't tell us to pay these artists and you paid them, you're fired.
Oh shit!
Damn,
that's a fact.
And you would think for a company like Universal,
that
which
was Sony,
the
Sony.
3/4 year report just came out for the music industry. Mm-hmm. UMG had 53% of the fucking industry.
Oh, that's a great number for me to know.
53%.
What's the next? I didn't know. What's the next?
53%. So you would think.
What was Sony? You know all of them?
Sony was 20%.
And what was Warner? They must have been
13%.
And who wins?
I think Sony might have been 30.
It's only 3 majors.
And then Independent was 1%.
No.
Independent was 1%. Was 1%. So all independent sources was 1%. Atlantic was 13%.
They're lying then.
Atlantic was 13%.
They're lying.
Yeah, Atlantic Warner was 13%.
They're lying. They would have to define independent. So maybe it's an independent label.
Yeah.
They have to be talking about the independent labels that are actually doing it on their own. It cannot be all independents, right? We're all independents. Remember, I'm at Venture Music. We're more than 50% of every dollar driven in music.
Right.
This ain't no guess.
Why
that number that you said, 53%, is so important. The way Universal, Warner Brothers, and Sony makes money, in addition to what they do, is this money that's unclaimed. So if I use simple numbers again, if independent, let's use 50%.
Yeah, we like simple numbers.
50%. Major record labels is 50%, all combined. So, and again, that's every independent artist, which is millions of independent artists. So if the industry is, let's use 20 billion, right? Mm-hmm. So 20 billion, 10 of it goes to the majors, is getting paid to majors. The other 10 is for independent artists that is only getting paid on less than 8% of that 50%. Mm-hmm. So that 10 million they're getting paid out, that leaves $9.2 billion unclaimed. That $9.2 billion that is unclaimed gets paid into Universal, Warner Brothers, and Sony, all the majors, after the statute of limitations up. So why in God's name would they ever want to help independent artists when they're getting all that money for free in proportion of their market share? That's why they put that number out. Mm-hmm. 53% of that would go to Universal, 18% would go to Warner, 12% would go to Sony, or whatever the number is balanced out to become.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the graphic. I can't find it. But I know Warner.
That's how music business is designed and made to this day. All those DSPs are collecting that revenue, have to pay it out. They cannot keep it. Mm-hmm. And the only ones that can collect it to this day, right now, if you didn't put in the proper paperwork and everything to collect it as an independent artist, it gets put into this pipeline. And that pipeline sits there, and once the statute of limitation, which I believe is 4 years, is up, unclaimed funds gets paid out to Universal, Warner Bros. Sony. So that's how they're making all this additional revenue.
What you just said with Tommy Mottola, with the whole if the judges didn't force us.
If the judge didn't, yeah.
Do you think this happens more often than not?
Of course. They all run by the same playbook. That's why you see so many disgruntled artists, right? And they fight. They get paid when they re-up their album, so they're going to pay you to do that album because they need the product. But what about the royalties it made? Hey, Murder Inc., forget the artist. Murder Inc., we had a 50-50 joint venture. They only paid us on 25%. We find this out through the lawyers and everything and when they do all of the auditing.
Right.
See, they didn't let us audit after our trial. That's what else Irv didn't say, but that was why they put up the money. They took all auditing rights from us to go back. But because of this deal, we was able to go pry in and get all this information, and that's when we found out they was paying us on our 50-50 deal. We never seen a profit advance. You know what I'm saying? We sell 10 million records. That generates $100 million. I'm using simple math.
Just simple math.
Okay, we spent $20 million in marketing and promoting in the cost of the album. That leaves $80 million. 40 supposed to go to fucking Universal, and we're supposed to get 40. We never seen one check in our existence as Murder Inc. for a profit advance.
That's insane.
Yeah, it almost sounds impossible.
See, we was making so much money from producing, publishing, and things of that nature, and getting big advances for albums. When we go to fight that, they always found a way to skip the subject legally. Like with lawyers, I have lawyers in tap dance round. Then we get to the trial. Everything that was like the ultimate windfall for them.
Yeah,
because now they could dead that.
You dead the agreement. Yeah,
and that's what they did because they cooperated with the government and they was betting that we go to jail, so we could never come back to and get it. They gotta pay.
So basically, a situation like
and it's a lot of money.
I could believe
it's a lot. Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
So the parallel I was trying to draw was and I actually found the graphic. So it was the top 50 year-to-date albums as of 11/10.
Oh.
UMG had 53% of market share.
Different.
Yeah, that's different. That's not all revenue
That's
sources.
not revenue.
That's not rev. That's
1% is independent. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Sony Music was 33, WMG was 13, and then other sources was 1%.
Yeah, that's all the independent artists.
Yeah, so that was all the albums calculated from January 1 to 11/10.
We'll hit charts. That's basically Billboard charts though.
Exactly.
Right? That's only Billboard charts. And we'll hit the charts. And again, but
So
what did Jay-Z say? He said we used to go crazy to get in Billboard. He said, Billboard, is you dumb?
You dumb?
Fuck Billboard.
How do you feel about like in our culture of music when people have like these issues with their record labels and they're not getting paid the right things, and there these campaigns that go on through like social media, regular media,
like Mika's
Daytime, Good Morning America. Like
you have a podcast, right? You bring Vicky on
with the Blazer.
Yeah, with the Blazer.
Okay,
got a Brita Blazer.
Yeah,
you bring Vicky on the podcast. She takes what you gave her. She says, "You invest in me. She wants you to set my podcast up. You give her this money. You give her advance, and you give her for her intellectual property, which is her conversation. This is your intellectual property conversation. So, and she goes, and her shit takes off. Boom. She starts making all this money, and you had a partnership with her. And she comes back to you and say, "You're no longer my partner. How would you feel? Would you feel away?" So why wouldn't you think a label would take the same stance? They invest millions of dollars into your career. When you was no one, you become someone. Then you say, "I don't want you no more. I'm thanks, but no thanks." I don't need you. No, they're gonna fight you for that, and they're rightfully so. Like I tell everyone, if you was in that position, you would be fucking like you'd be ready to kill these motherfuckers. So don't. But you could change your deal. You should be able to negotiate your deal because you're no longer the same person. Vicky say, "Look, you shouldn't be getting 50-50. I built this shit. Yes, you invested. You made more than your money back or whatever, because you could look at those things. You didn't invest the money in it, and you could sit there and you could take a position and say, look, I gave you that money. I didn't want to be ended. I thought I'm in it for the long haul."
Right.
And then you have to make a business decision. Is it better for you to fix it with her to keep her happy, or tell her fuck you, and then she's disgruntled and it doesn't work anymore. Because that's what happens to artists. You tell me which artist was fighting that still stays popping. I remember, I love Lil Wayne, but when he was arguing, he couldn't do nothing. Now he could do stuff because he's not.
Yeah, that's where the Sorry for the Wait campaigns came from.
Yeah. That argument takes away, for whatever reason, from your creativity and what you're doing. Yeah. For some reason, when we
made a big deal when Carter 5 finally dropped and it did the numbers it did, and it's just like, yo, you really think about it, like it took what, 9 years?
Yeah, almost a decade
to get back.
Yeah.
And he's blessed because he has such a base that he can do that. Most people don't have that base.
Yeah, his base is $500,000.
You know what I'm saying?
First week, it's ridiculous.
I'm just saying he's blessed with that.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. So it's like you have to understand it. It really gets down to you sign a shitty deal, but at the moment you signed it, you thought it was a great deal. That's why you fucking signed it. Then it's not forever. There's no deal that should be forever. So what's your term on that deal? You make.
It's like getting a job that you make $70,000 a year, and it's like, damn, this is great, and then you get a job that makes $150,000.
You didn't hear Irv's story when he said he was A&R and he's getting $60,000. He fucking
company made $400 million.
$400 million for these motherfuckers. Yeah. He got $60,000. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, he said they didn't even give him a bonus.
No, nothing.
That's insanity.
But this is what I'm saying. So
like,
put it in perspective.
You don't even get a steak dinner like fucking Glenn Ross. You get a fucking steak dinner.
That'll be his last meal.
That's insanity.
But that's on the flip side is this saying I paid you to do exactly what you did. Yeah. That's why I hired you.
Yeah, because if you didn't do that,
I thought you was gonna do that. Yeah, that's why.
If you didn't do that, you're fired.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's why when people get into the contracts, I'm like, I like, you see that mirror? I like to put it right in front of their face.
Yeah.
Why'd you sign the deal?
Yeah.
You thought it was good when you signed it. Now you evolved from that place. Did you try and renegotiate? If you did and they're not moving, they do have that right.
Right.
You have.
It's funny because not the control, but we spoke about it. Maybe say 3 or 4 Patreons ago. Because I listened back and he was talking about doing audits, where it's like auditing your label and going to him and be like, oh, well, you owe me this much.
That should be a regular practice. Anybody that's not auditing their label is fucking up.
A lot of labels don't let audits happen. They don't give you the right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because you just said you lost your auditing
in
rights.
The contract?
In the contract. You have to have that in the contract, that you want auditing rights. A lot of lawyers are in bed with the labels and they omit it on purpose. They know what they're not putting in there. The lawyers know that you don't have auditing rights.
That was going to be my next question.
It's not a given. It is not a given. You have to ask and fight for your auditing rights in your contract.
Are we back going now?
Where did we end off so I could tie right back in?
We was talking about the auditing process with music and all of that, and it's not a right. You gotta request it.
You gotta request that auditing rights
in your contract and all of that.
And it's not a given for sure.
Paul Silas died. Damn.
Yeah, I seen it.
Former NBA
That's
coach.
what.
Yeah. All right, so
isn't his son playing a coach now?
Yes, his son a coach. He coaches Houston.
Yep.
Yeah, he took my man.
That's the bull. We kept saying he was grinding.
Yeah,
he was trapping and shit. Yeah,
trap
funny as shit.
So let me ask you this: so what do you think about a situation with like an artist like Meek Mill? Sold a lot of records. Yeah. Been on a lot of big songs.
You talking about with Ross?
Not even with Ross. More so with Atlantic. His issue with Atlantic. And the fact that, like, recently, I don't know if you've seen it.
He signed to Ross.
He signed to Ross.
So what's his issue with
through Atlantic? His issue with Atlantic is he's saying that he's never received a royalty ever.
Did I just say?
He said 11 years.
Did the judge tell Atlantic to pay him?
He haven't. He hasn't. He's basically litigated this on Instagram and Twitter, as opposed to opening a fucking case.
Is, who wants to spend all that money for your case? Because see,
what I just say the other day to Kev.
If you're in London, right? If I sue someone and win, they pay my lawyer and they got to pay. So it's worth it. Over here in this country, big bank take little bank.
Yeah.
So they'll just drag it out, and all you're doing is paying lawyer fees and lawyer fees and lawyer fees and lawyer fees. So by the time you win the money,
you want,
yeah.
You even.
And they got lawyers on payroll, so it's not an extra cost to them.
Yeah.
It's business. Don King put me hip to that long time.
That's more so what I was asking you earlier. Like, how do you feel about when people go to the media with their issues as opposed to going to actual court
they
with them?
have nowhere else to go,
right.
So it's like they're vetting and they want people to stand with them, and maybe that'll something will happen. I get that, but man, it's rough. It's rough out here. Meek Meek has a situation. I know you have all these great relationships, and it doesn't matter. This is the design of the music industry.
Yeah, it's a flawed system.
They're gonna show you how much money they spent on you, and say, well, we didn't recoup. And then when they show, you're not a dollar for dollar recoupment. You don't. That's the other part that these artists don't get. This money. The money that you're entitled to, your royalty from these album sales.
Yeah.
You know, and without knowing Meek's album sales, because he came in a time where it was still selling records, but now it's all digital.
Oh, yeah.
Totally different metric from when we were selling physical CDs, okay? We were selling them CDs for $20.
Yeah, $18.99.
No one buys albums online anymore. Technically, they'll just listen to the singles they
fucking
like.
Taylor Swift just sold a ton of fucking vinyl, bro.
You know, white music still work. White music is still operating off the old system.
Yeah, she sold 700,000 vinyls first week.
You understand?
Yeah.
White music is still operating off the old system.
Yeah.
Black anything. Still using analog gear. Black music. No, but again, I never want to mix apples and oranges.
Somebody explain.
So I would never compare these white artists, and I don't call them pop anymore. They used to be pop artists because we're pop.
Hip hop is pop.
Right.
So white artists, these white music doesn't do business. They still develop them.
Yeah.
They'll still sign a artist and develop them, spend millions on them to get them to become a star.
Right.
Before now, you try black music. If you ain't got millions of followers and subscribers and
what I always
TikTok,
say, you have to come prepared.
Gotta be.
You have to be. You have to check out, or else they were not signing you no more.
You gotta damn near be so talented and so good to where it's like, why are you signing this deal? Like, in order to get a deal.
You know what's crazy? I don't even look at it as talent today. I look at it as strictly numbers.
It's almost like
safe.
algorithms.
They're playing safe.
Yeah, I know people that
a safe bet, meaning you have X amount of followers, you have X amount of engagement, and they know from those numbers, if I sign them and put my machine behind it, it's going to generate X. So it eliminates their risk factor to a certain extent, and that's all they're doing. They're mitigating risk. This is like a stock market. That's what record labels are really now. It's like a stock market. They're looking at you on all these social media things, and there's programs that they don't need to go directly to. They got companies that this is all they do, give those analytics up.
Yeah.
They spend the money for it.
It's like no farm anymore.
I think one is called like the Whale Report, and it's all of these engagement numbers, and that's how they find their new artists. And I'm sure you guys said, who is this, and why they signed this artist?
Fucking APG at Atlantic, Mike Caron's company, signing social media motherfuckers. Like, you got a lot of engagement. People like you. I'll have the best songwriters in the world come in and just write your shit. We can manufacture a hit record.
Absolutely.
They got a gold record out of fucking Bad Baby, the Cash Me Outside girl. She got a gold record.
You understand? This is the game. There's 500,000 people that fucking with her. So it's a business. See, the music business used to be about the passion and art form of the music. Mm. And there's still a portion of that is there, but the business has far exceeded it now. It's all about business for labels for black music. Like I said, if you country western, they're still going to develop you if they think you're talented. They're not looking for talent in black music. They're looking for that social media,
the sensation,
the influence in the number.
They know they have. They don't care what you look like, anything. If the people are fucking with you, they want to fuck with you. Yeah. And that's sad because it eliminates a great form of music. Like, that's why when people say the music business is not, it's not. They can say what they want. I went to a kids party, skating party, roller skating in Charlotte with No Limit Larry. Shout out No Limit. Mm-hmm. And it was a kid party. And I'm in there, and all I hear is fuck, 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 kill, kill, kill every record. There's no more kid music. Yeah. There's no more music for kids. Give me some songs that kids could listen to and enjoy if they're having a party. They have to listen to adult music, and to me, that is so sad. It's like they're not getting an opportunity to be a child. They have to grow up fast. They have to know what drugs and all of these Percocets about and shit like that, and fucking bitches and sucking dick and, you know, wet ass pussy. This is what they have to know now at 5, 6 years old. And they'll sing it word for word.
I saw some concert footage of Cardi B performing Wet Ass Pussy, and all of the little girls that was singing shit word for word was like 13. I'm like, this is child abuse. No, it was like 400,000 of them. It was like at a festival.
Hey,
it was crazy.
Back in the day, they would stop it, but they're not stopping it because it only fucks with us.
Yeah.
In the masses side of it, the large number, because believe me, all them little white kids and everything is still coming to the concerts, but not as many as us.
And they don't internalize the content the same way that our youth do. Like, they separate, like, oh, this is a cool song, I like this artist. They don't go and do the shit from the song.
It's bad. And it was sad. When I left there, I told, man, I said, no, I said, Larry, I said, man, this fucked up. We got no music to play for these kids, man. And, you know, we tried.
Yeah.
I know we made good music for them. It's like, you could have both. Where's the good side of things? It's like, damn, it doesn't have to all be so raunchy and fucking rough for the kids, man. It's like, this is the future.
Yeah.
So when shit get bad, because this is what they grew up on, don't be mad.
Exactly.
It definitely will have an effect. Just think of yourself in the music that affected you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So it's no different. Now it's their turn, and this is what you're feeding them, all because it's money. And the powers that be don't give a fuck. They gonna pump that shit. You know, I want to make a class action lawsuit against the labels for all of the murders.
Yeah,
because they support it. They're funding it.
That was a question that I had, which is like, what do you make of all the recent deaths in hip hop?
It's damn near inevitable when you add in all of this. Think of it like a recipe, like for you're cooking dinner, and this is how you got to cook the dinner. So it's like a recipe in the sense of you put in money, right? Territorial, promotion, marketing and promoting,
right?
Resources being spent, the idealistic view of these people when they come out with these records.
Then you mix in like gang activity and all.
That is a given. See, that's a constant. That is something that we dealt with. Right? Yeah. Every city I went into, we had to deal with those gangster promoters that was involved in that city with the club you was going to. It's no different. That didn't change. It just got more, it got bigger.
Yeah.
When we did it, maybe it was one dude from the hood that ran the one club that was playing hip hop. Now it's hip hop everywhere. So there's multiple dudes and they crews that's that's a given. The gang culture is a given. It didn't go away. It only and that I don't see an end at. I don't see an end in sight.
Right.
So I wouldn't be foolish to think that's not a given already, no matter where you go. But you add in the money with the women, all of those things create the animosity, the jealousy, the hate. I hate that you got it and I don't.
Right.
I want what you have. I dealt with all of that shit. It didn't change. It only got heavier.
Yeah, you're selling a rich lifestyle to a bunch of poor people and then expecting them not to.
You know, I told Jesse Jackson one day, I said, he asked me how to fix the gang violence in Chicago. I did an event and it was pretty successful. A lot of the gang members went on and said they not fucking with it. They fucking with adventures. And they rivals and they did this shit. And Jesse got a wind of it. He had me on a panel. He kept asking me, how do you fix it? I said, Jesse, I'm not a politician. And he kept asking me. So I said, with money, nigga.
Right.
And that's not about giving them money. It's about giving them opportunities to make money. Real money. Like, if it's no opportunity, I was violent. When I didn't have money, I was a violent person. Got money? I'm like, yo, chill out. We ain't got to do that. I'm showing you a different way. But when I didn't have money, I was violent.
Like, bust that nigga head. Fuck it.
No, he got something I want.
Yeah.
I'm taking that.
Yeah.
That's where we're heading. It's like in these records personify this lifestyle that to me is, again, it's one of one. It's like one in a million. So how many of them even some of these artists that are saying it and look like they broke as fuck. But they fronting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They fronting, they out there.
Yeah, for sure.
It is what it is, but how do you fix it is a question, and that's a deep question. But it's, again, I don't see, or it's sad for the kids because I don't hear nothing for them, man. And music is like the Pied Piper, right? That's what we did to all the white kids. They never believed hip-hop would take all them kids with us. They never thought that. Yeah. And hip-hop is absolutely the Pied Piper, and it's doing it not only to them, but it's everybody. all races.
I just saw a video. It was some kids in Bangkok, Thailand, making drill music.
Yeah,
music video. Drill
Why wouldn't
music.
they?
saw it was like a Russian or Lithuanian white kid, and he got a drill record. It's like him with a bunch of like black dudes from like Lithuania, Russia, and they got like, and he's rapping in Russian and it's drill.
I'm out there with Gas Golden, which is the biggest record label, one of the biggest record labels, and out there in Russia. And when I tell you how and it's all independent.
Yeah,
they're all independent, and how it's all hip hop stuff. I mean, I was out there with these guys. It's different, and they have so much power and control. It's really what America should be striving to do from our independent standpoint.
Right.
They're so powerful that MTV has to ask them, can they do a show? Because they own and control all the hip hop artists.
Damn.
And they say no. We'll do it ourselves.
Right. We'll do our own show.
I mean, they do fucking stadiums.
Yeah.
All hip hop shit. Again, it's their country, their culture, but it's our culture of hip hop in their language, in their native tongue. Right. And it's a beautiful thing to see, but it's also that I see they have more freedom and liberty with the independent side. There's no labels. What? There's 2 labels out there. It's Black something. I can't remember. It'll come to me, and Gas Golden. Those are the 2 biggest labels, both independent. I know both of them.
Yeah.
The other company owns everything. I mean, clothing stores. Like, aside from music, that's how much diversity, how they diversified their business from music. But they have owned all the biggest artists out there with Gas Golden, and I mean, they are huge, both of them. I tried to get them together, stop competing, work together. You know, that's something we learned wrong, in my opinion. Hey, you have a podcast, I have a podcast. We should both be able to.
Yeah, let's collaborate. Yeah.
It's not about, I got to beat you. Me and Rashad talk about this all the time, earn your leisure. There's no competition, man. I'm going to big you up every time I get.
Right. That's what it should be.
It's supposed to be, but we got to lead by example. It only is going to happen if we do it. If we never do it, it'll never change. I do it. I practice what I preach and what I believe. I do exactly what I want done to me. You know what I'm saying? So when I do what I'm doing, it's because I want someone to do the same thing for me. Yeah. I just was telling you I got a big interview with Jay Prince. That's what I want. Yeah. He told me I ain't giving it to no one but you. Thank you. That's my brother. He's supposed to do that for me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Rap a Lot and hold your head up, Junior, all of them. Going through everything with the whole takeoff situation, man. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of Jay Prince, I got a question. There's an old topic that's become new news to niggas, because apparently niggas just discovered this like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Cotton?
Just discovered this 3 weeks ago. There's all this talk around this black distribution company that Irv, Jay Prince, and Simon Suge was supposed to be starting. Yeah, Simon was supposed to be starting. Irv has made it very clear over the years through various interviews it was something way more brilliant than just like a distributor. But the internet has basically chosen their own narrative. Were you present at any of these meetings? Of course. And what light can you shed on the situation so that niggas stop
procrastinating and making up shit?
Making up shit. Yeah.
Well, it's not really makeup, right? We was definitely trying to form basically a distribution outlet for all artists. Irv said it in the last interview, but I hate to say it, but it's kind of true. You know, we was gonna really be very aggressive because we had the biggest artists. Yeah. You know, think of Russell Simmons, right? Russell Simmons, when he first started, he had the biggest artist with Run DMC, which is his brother Joe, and he had Run DMC, and he forced, and it wasn't him, it was Leor. If y'all didn't know, Leor forced every artist to sign to Rush Management. So if you heard Rakim said it, yeah. Everyone was with Rush Management because why? He owned the only way to tour. He was the only one doing it. So he had the relationships with all the clubs and everything. Yeah. If you wanted to go make some money,
if you want to get on the circuit, you gotta get down with us.
Rush. Yeah. But that was Leo. He was gangstering all of them ends. Like, if you don't fuck with us, you're not getting nothing. Blah blah blah. And they would sign. Yeah. And that's basically how he built Def Jam. That's the next evolution of his management company. So this was in the same zone. If we had all the biggest artists: Death Row, Murder Inc.,
Rap a Lot,
and in our affiliations with all of the. you know, when you look at Jay Prince started all those labels. I mean, from Cash Money to No Limit to what's the one in Miami? All of them.
Slip and Slide.
There was another one. There was I'm sorry, I'm bad with all these names, man. But
Luke Records.
He was part of all these companies.
Okay.
That's the label.
Po' Boy. Okay.
No, that's the label. But he was on there. But end of the day, he did it. So we were saying we had Rough Riders, Rockefeller, and all these other little affiliate labels.
Yeah.
We're gonna take all of those stars and put them under this umbrella, and then any new nigga gotta come in. Right. So Irv was like, it's get down or lay down. It was either you do it or you're gonna have nothing anyway, because there's nowhere else to get this.
Yeah.
Because these labels are not going to do it for you. Distribution would have been just like Universal Warner. We cut our deals directly with all the distributors, outlets, like they did. Which back then was the Tower Records and all of that. We just go cut a deal so we could distribute our shit to them. But we had the leverage because we had the artists. But then the feds came in and stopped everything.
All right. So before I get to the Fed point, because I got a question about that point. Irv said that it was a union aspect to this also.
Absolutely. So you would pay a union dues.
Yeah.
We was Jimmy Hoffa and shit, right? We was going to create the Teamsters for the music industry.
Right.
And it's
needed. Yeah, and they said it wasn't just black music. It was the whole music industry.
We start black and then it turns to everything, like everything does, right?
Yeah.
You know, they want what we got. And when they see the value of it, they're going to, like, these rappers, again, they have nothing. There's no coverage. Everything is on your own. So a unionized system would create, like, from something simple as healthcare.
I was about to say healthcare.
Something simple as healthcare for you. And dental, you know what I'm saying? Get your fucking teeth fixed, nigga. God damn.
Right.
You're making some money, go get it fixed. Like, shit like that. And then from retirement funds and things of that nature. That's what really the unionization did. And the way unions make money is because those things get paid over time, and we can aggregate the money. And then there's another business aspect, which Jay Prince and Suge, I don't call him Simon, that's Suge. Suge absolutely knew, and myself and Irv absolutely knew how to do. I'm from construction. I'm from union.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All my work was unionized workers. So I understood the union completely. And we could easily have done it to create this safe haven for these artists once they get signed, and take it from labels as well. Yeah, they go to Universal. They could still come to that part. Did you understand?
They could sign over here, and
you might sign with Universal. You didn't want to. They gave you a better deal than we did. Cool,
but you still part of the union.
You want to be part of the union as an artist. Now there's an AFTRA. There's a union called AFTRA. If you didn't know, AFRA, AFRA.
Okay.
That is a union for artists,
but it's not mandatory participation.
You know, some do, some don't.
Yeah. It's like if you're an electrical contractor, motherfucker, you in the union. You ain't got no choice.
It's the only way you got jobs.
Yeah.
So we was going to go into that part. It could have got very deep because we could make it where if you're not in the union, we're not letting you tour.
Yeah.
Because we own all of the buildings. We have a deal with all the buildings, and it has to be union workers.
Right.
Else, if you go in that building, you're a scab, and we could shut you down.
Yeah, no wonder they try to lock all you niggas up.
They out there with big inflatable rat.
Local 731 could have survived right now. We can't. See how you just did it? This is the problem with
y'all too smart.
Yeah.
No. We trying to make a living. We trying to help. We trying to
y'all trying to create infrastructure and power for black people. Yeah. You go to fuck the jail. You get a bullet in your head when you do shit like that.
Listen. Sometimes
not that it's right, but that's America.
Again, I was just talking. We willing to stand on that.
Yeah.
That's why we went through a trial. I'm willing to stand on it. If right or wrong, I'm willing to die for my shit.
Yeah.
People don't know that. I'm really serious about what I'm about. Yeah. That's the bottom line. And in businesses, when you building something that you know is for the betterment of everybody, you going.
What you just laid out is quite possibly the most brilliant idea I've ever heard in the history of the music industry.
Yeah, it's actually a shame that
it's sad no one's doing it.
Yeah.
And again, we definitely would be wanting to be involved. Again, now we don't have the same power.
Yeah, same.
I was about to say,
yeah.
So it would need to be the people that do have that power. It would need like a baby. Because, Cash Money being Cash Money, you need like COP and Coach K.
Mm-hmm.
We need them. We can help get this together, but they need to want to work together. See, we wanted to work with each other.
Yeah.
That's the only way it works. If you don't get the unity, it's always divide and conquer. But unity changes everything.
Right.
We have the power. If we just stand together, united, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
So
when niggas understand that and stop fucking worrying about they self and worrying about the overall.
Right.
I say it all the time. Black people could take over everything in 3 weeks.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Once you worry about yourself, it's nothing. It's like.
Last question on the distro/union. Why do people like Gene Deal,
Okay.
people like Bounty Hunter BJ, who apparently is like become some big internet figure. He's familiar with Suge and this and TD and all of that. Keep saying Jay-Z. They're not saying nobody else. Every fucking interview I see, Jay-Z left those meetings and snitched to the feds.
I don't have no clue why they're saying that. They may be clout chasing. Why would they think Jay-Z snitched to the feds on which meetings? On the existence of the distro and the union trying to come to fruition. Why would Jay-Z snitch? I have no clue why they would say that. To me, it sounds like they clout chasing. Jay-Z's a great name to try and clout chase. Yes. I never seen no snitch in Jay-Z. I'm going to leave it there. Now, why would he run to the feds? Yo, they about to form a union. Go get these niggas. Like, you think he's afraid of us? That's my brother. Right. He can never be afraid of me. Yeah. I'll fucking lay down for the nigga. You understand? Like, that's our relationship. Indeed. Irv would lay down for him. Now, Jay-Z might have had an issue maybe at one point with Suge or something. We fixed that easy. Gotcha. I mean, there's a lot of history with me and Suge, too. It wasn't all sweet. So, he know what's up. Right. Me and Suge is very clear, on each other. Jay Prince, I just talked about this with him just the other day when we first met. It wasn't the best of terms. Yeah. We got there. Just like any relationship. Yeah, that's normally how it go. You know what I'm saying? But he was coming in, when I meet Jay, it's because he's coming in for a lot of money. Because our producer that we had, Seven, was his producer. Mm-hmm. And I said I learned a lot from him. He didn't know what I meant. I said, because you told me afterwards, once we got to be cool, I asked you questions. And I said, why'd you wait? If you knew Sev was with us from the door. He said, because he didn't make no money. He said, I let him go make some money. Then I come in with the money. I thought the money was like, makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I didn't even think of that. Like most of us, if you have a producer, he's over there working with this label. You coming right in. Yo, that's my shit. He signed to me. I want my money. He didn't make no money yet. Jay that's Southern laid back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Akon said that Akon said he had a situation like that around a producer, the Kid Detail, who ended up blowing up with Suge, where they trying to recoup some money, whatever. Suge and Ray J trying to recoup some money, some shit like that, and he ain't made no money yet. And they chasing $25,000, and Akon said it just blew up to a point where somebody that was with Akon ended up putting hands on Suge about him pressing Akon about this money. Yeah. Because it was like 4 months in a row, I see you at 4 different places, and you keep asking me about this bread, and then it turned into some gangster shit because Suge said he was going to get somebody's mother killed or some shit like that, and then it just went off the rails. I don't know about that. Put no attempted murder. But again, that's their business. Yeah. Like, again, this is real business. Like I said, when you put this money involved with people that come from these humble circumstances when they first started, I mean, it could get violent. For sure. It could get violent if you feel you're being taken advantage of or you're actually stealing. Either way. We used to growing up, we would tell people, don't make this robbery turn into a homicide. It happens real easy. With Snoop Dogg saying one of his records, don't make this 211 go to another level. Yeah, it's just a robbery, bro. Yeah.
Styles said robbery could turn to murder 1 in half a second.
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's why that's no different. Think of the robbery you talking about there is it could turn to serious right away. Yeah, in a snap. Right away, man. So you got to be very mindful of all of the business deals you're doing and who you're doing it with. Yeah, you got to know who you're in bed with. All right, I got a couple more questions and we're going to let you go. I know you got to get back to the family. Get to them game.
Yeah, really.
I know that's right.
I got the Jets under. This shit's critical.
Why is the entire music industry acting shocked about this Irv and Ashanti stories that came out in the last year?
I don't know.
Why are people playing dumb?
Which story came out in the last year?
Meaning, like, all right, so not came out in the last year, but more so when Irv went and did Drink Champs and trended and all of that.
All right,
there was all of these people. It's all of these people that pretended like they had no idea that Irv and Ashanti ever dealt with each other.
Question: y'all heard the interview?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did Irv say wrong? Aside from the bitch comment. Aside from the bitch comment, which he retracted after Ja checked him.
Yeah.
Right? Tell me what he said wrong.
I just think his delivery was bad.
Okay, I agree with that.
The content of what he said.
The context of just the way it was going on probably was bad.
What's the context? You know, how could something real be wrong? Is my question. And what is real, so I could clear this up.
Yeah.
What is real is all I heard, and I had to listen to it twice because Fat Joe made some comments afterwards.
I was going to ask you how you felt about his commentary.
Me and Joe, I had to see Joe on that. And
yeah.
Joe good now, but I had to see him because he can't do that. He still, to me, owes Irv an apology. And he gave Irv an apology, but I said you got to give it to him the same energy. Give it to him that way too.
Yeah.
Don't give it to not if we family.
Right.
If we supposed to be family. You can never go on in front of these cameras and these phones.
Yeah, I literally wrote right here. I said, I know Fat Joe is a close friend of yours. What did you think about his comments? Like, because he was so close to y'all.
We could go into that more too, but with Irv, and I told her, all I heard him saying.
Said he loved her.
How? Which one of y'all men want to say you love your ex and profess it in front of the world? You tell me what it take to do that. See, when you put it in perspective. Right? You put it in perspective, you understand it. They had a real relationship. She just said they didn't. I said, don't do that. That's a lie.
It's a lie.
I'm going to say it's a lie when anyone asks me because I know better. Now, you told me things in confidence that I will never tell.
Right.
But me and you know what's up. Like, I'm not going to do that. Don't do that. Y'all had a relationship. It was volatile. Say that. It's cool. Yeah. It's cool. It's all right. Irv is explaining he never believed she would never be as loyal. He thought she was going to be more loyal to him. When he said he found out about Nelly, he ain't saying how many bitches he was fucking that she caught him with.
Right.
That's the part he didn't say.
Yeah.
But that's real too. Irv was never fucking one woman. You know what I'm saying? This is my brother. He know that. It's like, nigga, she caught you fucking in the crib. Like, she caught the nigga. She tore his fucking counter up. There's a video. She cuts the counter up. She's reenacting the truth. She wanted me to play the lead. I forget the song, I promise you.
Okay.
That's some wild shit. That's some wild shit.
She wanted me to play the lead. I said, are you fucking bugging? Are you crazy? She's like, come on, please. She had the nigga in the tub and all that shit. But she
You look just like this nigga. You come do this motherfucking video.
No. Bon, I love you, bro. I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't put me in that. She 1,000% asked me to be the lead because of this part. She was basically reenacting her relationship with Irv.
Yeah.
But she had just carved the kitchen up in a fucking Tribeca apartment, real nice shit. You know what I'm saying? Because she just caught the nigga. She would tell me, like, she was like, he's playing me. Like, I'm not no more 28 Burn Street, nigga. I'm Ashanti. Like, he can't do this, but she loved Irv.
Yeah.
There's a reason you never hear her shitting on Irv. Why don't people put this in perspective? When have you heard Ashanti shitting on Irv? Going back, if he's saying something so great, why ain't she firing? She just be like, I wish he wouldn't talk about me no more. When she was on Angie, she said the most she's ever said in her life in her career with him. And that was, again, because of the Drink Champ shit. And Angie prided. You know, she knows what Angie's trying to get that shit.
They trying to get a moment.
But at the end of the day, when two people are together, it's about them two. It ain't about nobody else.
That's what I was going to say. I think at the end of the day, it's like us surmising because we don't really know.
You know what's crazy? I'm going to give you what's crazy, man. My brother's fucking nuts, man. He calls me up. This is before the Drink Champ shit. I'm going to give y'all some real shit. And Irv, you
exclusive.
Killed me with this one. Yeah, he killed me with this one. He calls me up, and this is a true story. He says, yo, do me a favor. I said, what's that? He said, call Ashanti. Yo, let her know I'm in a good place. He's getting his money. He's going to have this money to do TV shows. He said, let her know I could do anything she wanted, anything. He said, I ain't going to talk about it no more, nothing. This is before the Drink Champs, but he already filmed it and didn't tell me. But now in his mind, hold on. In his mind, he's like, I ain't saying nothing bad about this girl.
Yeah, like I said, I loved her. Like, what the fuck?
He's saying I loved her. And this is the perception part that gets misconstrued with the public.
Right.
He did not say nothing about Ashanti. He's like, yo, I loved her. That's it. I didn't think she would shit on me or wouldn't fuck with me. Wanted to show the trial. He holds so much gravity and weight on that shit is crazy. And it's like, but I can't change him. That's how he feel. And everyone has their right to feel the way they want.
Indeed.
And that was their relationship. He felt I made her. She had 3 record deals. He's like, yo, I did so much for her. And he did. If you watch the documentary, Vita, Charlie Ball all said, yeah, it was all about Ashanti. He stopped thinking about the other girls on the label.
They said he went on tour. They said he stopped.
Cut the lights off and leave.
I'm back home taking care of business.
Yeah.
So he's able to do these things. So he went on the tour. He did all that. But the other artists is like, yo, we need Irv. That relationship created great work, bodies of work that is timeless. She's still making all the money on it to this day. It's timeless. Then when she comes and says she wants her masters, I'm not giving you masters. Those are my works too. See, people like Charlamagne the God said that. Now, come on, Charlamagne. You would never do that if you was Irv. If you was in his seat, identical situation where you actually created those records with her. That's not just her. She didn't come into Murder Inc. with records and say, these are my records. That's a different scenario. When you hear Taylor Swift saying, I want my man, she created them. She produced them. She wrote them. The label had nothing to do with that shit.
Scooter Braun went and bought the label that owned it, that administered the pub and shit like that. Yeah, it's a different scenario. Yeah.
Irv made those. That's his body of work. He gave you every idea of all those songs. Like, do you understand? That's how what... Come on. Just tell the truth.
Yeah.
How about she didn't like none of those records? What if she didn't put them out because we listened to her? She didn't like none of them records. She was like, on Baby. I sound stupid. Irv's like, no, this is how you got to sound. She didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Everything. The Biggie record. I'm off key. She didn't like none of them.
Right.
So without Irv, there is no Ashanti. She has to understand that too. Yeah. She had 3 deals. She did it her way in those other deals.
It didn't work. Yeah.
She was smart enough to let Irv run. And it worked. Great. It's nothing wrong with her. It's nothing wrong with her doing that. It's business. It worked. Then y'all get involved in a relationship. It is what it is. Come on, man. I be tired of talking about it because it's stupid. Because Irv is not shitting on her in that interview. There might have been other interviews he talked bad about her.
Yeah, not that one.
Not that one.
Yeah. The one y'all mad at is not the right one.
The last one was
click the next one,
The crazy part was he called me to do that, so I did it. I called Ashanti to tell her, yo, he ain't gonna shit on you. If you need anything, he willing to help you, whatever.
Cause she's independent now, right?
Yeah, he was like, if you need a record, he'll make a record with you, everything. And she's like, I just want my piece. And then here come this fucking interview. So how you think she looking at me?
Yeah, like you fucking,
like this nigga.
You threw a grenade. Yeah. Fucking
she's
can't.
Like, she called me sickly. Don't ask me for nothing for Earth no more, please. You got it. I call it Bon. No problem, Bon.
Yeah.
You got it. We good, yo.
That bridge is cooked.
Yeah. Say hi to mama's, you know what I mean? That's it, yo. It's like, come on, yo. But that's what happened.
Yeah.
But and Irv did that interview for a specific reason. It wasn't for that reason.
Right.
See, Irv is not a dumb nigga. This nigga's one of the geniuses.
He's a genius. He's a genius.
Business. Whether y'all want to recognize, I recognize my brother's genius.
I have a decent amount of influence. I don't have like DJ Academics or Charlamagne influence, but I've advocated on every platform I've ever been on. Irv should be running a major label. And the fact that he's not is a slight of hand to the industry itself, not him.
A major record label, a major fucking movie company, a major television network. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Man, this is years. I'm 55. You know how many years I've been listening to this nigga's stories?
Yeah.
That he turned to real life, though. He manifested. He's a master manifester.
Right.
He did it. And here it is again. It's like, it's sad. It's sad. You know, I look at a lot. There's certain people in life I look at. It's sad because we didn't get to. Irv is going to do more great things.
Absolutely.
He's not the one I'm talking about. But someone like a Ja Rule, I'll be sad because his career was cut short.
And then you see,
and he's a genius.
And then you see, like,
he's a fucking genius.
Then you see Ja do verses and just go absolutely crazy.
It's like y'all forgot.
And captivate.
Did the verses happen after we did our show? Or was that before that?
I think it was after.
Was it?
I think it was after.
Damn, it don't feel like it's been that long.
Yeah, and so to see that, you feel like, damn, like, you know what could have been, like,
what people had to do, because it's still the most watched verses ever.
Yeah.
You know what people had to say? Damn, why did I hate on that nigga? There's nothing wrong with you liking 50 and Ja Rule.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with me liking Nas and Jay-Z. How come we was chosen, right? Think about it. See, I'm living that. I live that. Meaning I'm in the heart, in the middle of it. But why did people have to choose? I either fuck with 50 or Ja Rule. That was what happened to me.
Literally.
And again, then think of all the animosity that we went through from that, then to the feds and everything else.
I was going to ask, and we actually had it because so many people, when we did the first interview, was like, yo, I love that interview y'all did with Gotti. That was like the one persistent thing. Why y'all didn't talk about 50? What he told you couldn't talk about 50? I'm like, no, we just ran out of time because we were going through the whole life of everything.
With 50, there's nothing to talk about. Like, honestly, like.
But I more so was just saying how you said when you, earlier in this interview, you said when y'all were doing the jury selection, and you was like, the biggest thing you was worried about was like, are y'all listening to 50? Like,
that was a big concern.
So it's like it all went on at the same time, where it was like the 50 Josh shit.
Might hate on you because of a fan, just because, not because they know you, just because they hate. So it was that was very prominent in our shit, yo. Aside from his name in my fucking paperwork. Curtis Jackson. You understand? So it's like, what am I doing? That's not, nigga, we could produce all that, but no one cared when we produced the order of protection. See, no one listened when we spoke about him. That was because he was so dominant.
Yeah.
Right? He's such an influence. No one gave a fuck what you saying. So
they said y'all went to Kinko's and made that order of protection.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jules over there at Kinko's.
Again, it is what it is. How do we produce the document?
Yeah. They tell you produce a document. You produce a document.
With the detective's name on it. Everything from the precinct, and it's not real. And one of the niggas that did it is that nigga Cavario, who's supposed to be my man.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, you foul nigga, yo. See, I call names. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Foul. He's supposed to be the official nigga, Don Divas and all of that shit. Shout out Kevin Childs. I went to Kevin and told Kev, why is he fucking lying for this nigga? To protect him so he can get the interview front page to sell magazines.
Got it.
You understand? Mm-hmm. What's he gonna do? Discredit him? No. Then he'll never do the interview. There's nothing such thing he did. He's the nigga that did it. Cavario. I know who did it.
Right.
Come on, man. It's sucker shit. I ain't with sucker shit. Ever. You know what I'm saying? Ever. So when I see it, it's like, but I ain't the nigga to keep talking and trying to fight to prove something.
Yeah.
I'm good, nigga. You heard? And it's simple as that. I don't need to fight for I don't need to prove truth.
Right.
Facts are facts. Pac said it best. You and I know what's going on. Payback. I knew you bitch
niggas from way back.
You understand? That's 1,000%.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know 50. Right? I never met that man. I played basketball one time with him, with Clue. DJ Clue set it up. Proof. Ask him if I ain't clotheslined that nigga twice. Because he was chitter-chatting. Because he was chitter-chatting. He's talking. I was like,
this had to be...
This is before he started the real beat. This is when he just did a little mixtape. This is when he was with Bang on Smurf, because that nigga was there too. So, I'm like, yo, I grabbed the ball, like, yo, my man, do I know you? Because I keep hearing, like, you talking, yo, do I know you? And then Bang Smurf run over, nah, come on, Fifth, it's all good, it's all good. So I said, oh, this must be that nigga rapping about Ja. Come down, I clothesline that nigga. Jim quiet. Come down again, clothesline that nigga. I said, all right, nigga, you don't want no problems, just play ball, nigga. And that was the end of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know the nigga. I grew up fighting, so the fight was nothing. If he wanted that, we could have did it. You know what I'm saying? That's no problem.
Is there any part of you that feels like y'all inherited this beef just because of Preem, or that this was like some form of legitimate? Is it a real legitimate basis to this shit?
There is no real legitimate basis to the beef, man. This is bullshit. That's why it's not real to me. I've been in real beef in my life.
Yeah. On
site, 2 years, niggas is banging. Niggas from Southside. Okay? This is no bullshit. I'm from House Queens. Anyone from Southside, we had beef with. But there's a nigga named Mike Spellman. He's dead now. But Mike Spellman, I'll keep it all the way buck. We went and fucked some niggas up, these Zulu Nation niggas, with my man Tony. You know what I'm saying? And we was all together, and I brought my man Snoop from Hollis with me, but I don't know the rest of these niggas.
Yeah.
So we go with Tony, fuck these Zulu Nation niggas up. Mike Spellman, a big nigga, he used to hold down LL.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Come back. And he was with another nigga named, I think, Corey, another nigga named Red, one more nigga. It was 4 of them. And I'm just with Snoop. We walking home after we do this shit, and I'm about to go this way. They was like, nah, come on, we go this way. Mind you, I swear on everything, I got a little rope chain on, right, with a ring on it. Ring fake, rope chain real.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Mixing the highs with the lows.
Yeah. we walking, and the nigga Mike Spellman said, yo, let me see that ring. And go, pop, and pop my chain. I snuffed the nigga. Ha! He said, oh, you want to fight for your shit? I was like,
I normally just take a nigga's shit.
Like, no, but look, this is I swear. He take his shirt off on everything. The nigga looked like Mr. T. The nigga had nothing. You know, we talking in the 80s, my nigga. This is rope chains, everything. I'm like, oh, that shit made me so bad. I'm like, you want my little chain? You got all of that? We start fighting. The nigga Little D pull out the joint and was like, nah, we ain't fighting. My nigga Snoop run. I was like, okay. Niggas, come on, we got to get out of here. And nigga had the gun on me. So the nigga, Mike's like, I'm going to see you. I said, you going to see me. And then they leave. So I go back home. I go get my man Kylie. Shout out Kylie. That's my #1 hitter.
Yeah.
We go fuck Snoop up right after that. Mm-hmm. Go right to his crib, drag him out the house.
Oh, you ran on us. You got to catch. Yeah, you can't run. You can't.
Run. Take that ass whipping, nigga, if that's what it is. Whatever. I thought I went that way because I thought I had my nigga with me.
Yeah.
I would have never went by myself. So we fucked this nigga up, and then after that, we caught them niggas, and then they be in the brown dust. I'm telling you, I remember this shit like yesterday because it was that impactful this is 2 summers. Everywhere, every party. Oh, there they go, here they go. They catching us, we catching them. Bodies is lost, everything.
Yeah.
Real shit. But that's real beef. That was real beef. With 50, most of these niggas was niggas I knew that I banged with. Like, they never gonna move on me. One time we see him in Miami, I tell the niggas, I said, don't make me go see your mama, nigga. I know your mama, nigga. Don't do that. If I feel like you attacking me, I gotta attack. I'm not gonna be hunted.
Right.
I'm a hunter. You understand? I'm not gonna be attacked.
Yeah.
Ever. So if I feel that, I'm coming for somebody. And that's what it was. It was like, if I felt that energy, but I didn't feel like I said, I never felt that pressure. I'm not the artist, first of all, but I'm Frontline Murder Inc. because I'm out and about. And the DJs really fucked me up the most with that whole beef. Really. I'll go to clubs and DJs would shout me out, Chris Gotti, Murder Inc., blah, 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 blah. And then they play a 50 record.
Right after.
Is that you, Irv? You know that joint you saw me smell pussy
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so I go to the DJ. I'll go talk to them. Like, yo, man, what's good? You just shouted me out. Why are you doing that? You right, yo. Then they play another diss record. And I drag them out the booth. That's a fact. I paid Irv said it in the very first Drink Champs. He was like, yo, my brother, I was paying all these lawsuits with my brother. I told him stop going out. I was fucking these niggas up. Yeah. That's why all these niggas, y'all see me out. Y'all seen me put in work. Y'all seen who I was with. I was really out there with real niggas. Yeah. Again, I could turn up whenever I want. I just keep the shirt on so you don't see the muscles. That's I can flex whenever I want. Yeah. And it's crazy. And then, but what we didn't realize at the same time is 50 was getting, just like everywhere I went, I was getting jit. I'm like, oh shit, they gonna kill me. Everywhere I went. But he was getting, it's murder everywhere he went. We didn't know that.
They was playing both sides against each other and
fans.
shit. Yeah.
It's fans. These niggas, because most of the people that was doing the G Unit shit, I would go up to them. Yo, what's up? I would talk to them. Like, I'm really Murder Inc., so if that's what it is, let's get to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I said, if you just a groupie, I get it. I would try to incite that fight. Call them groupie and all of that
You
shit.
looking for the smoke.
I was looking for the smoke, 1,000%. Because I felt if I didn't, I really felt in my heart, if I didn't do that at that time, at that moment, I wouldn't be able to walk around today.
Yeah.
And that's how I literally felt. That's why Irv would say, stop going out. I said, no, I can't. He didn't understand it, but I'm a wartime nigga. Irv is not a wartime nigga. That's when I'm a wartime consigliere, like in the mafia. He told Tom, you out, Tom. You're not a wartime nigga. No, I'm a wartime nigga.
It's funny as shit as you said it because I'm watching this docuseries about World War II, Japan versus Okinawa, and they basically the U.S. has surrounded the whole island, and the general, the Japanese general, whatever his name was, but he was like completely surrounded. He was in a bunker with like 15 of his people, and they sent him a message like, "It's only 10s of y'all left," and he was like, "Well, I guess y'all got 10s more work to do." Like he was like not surrendered. Like it's not over till y'all kill all of us. Like that's some real shit. There's people that really believe that.
I want to make sure because I'm on like again. I have no animosity to none of these niggas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What's crazy is I caught Yayo one day because I see him doing all these shit and that shit. This nigga copped out so crazy, man. I don't fuck with that nigga no more. This is crazy. I was by myself. You know who was with me? Floyd Mayweather. Shout out Floyd. He was at the International right there on 45th Street. The Continental International. I think it's the International Hotel or whatever. And Floyd coming to me, oh shit, I forgot, yo, you don't fuck with this nigga. He's coming. I just told him to come over. He don't fuck with them niggas no more. I'm like, Floyd, I don't mix apples and oranges, man. But you know. I had my driver, Black Judge. Shout out Black Judge Jr., you know what I'm saying? Black Judge, that was Preem's man. That's his son. Mm-hmm. So I had him driving for me. You know what I'm saying? Just so he get a couple dollars, whatever, and show him things and shit like that. And when he seen the niggas, it was Yayo and some other nigga with him. But I grabbed them niggas right away. I would have broke that nigga up. So, like, but Floyd was like, please don't do nothing.
Yeah.
But he told me, yo, I don't fuck with them niggas no more. This and that. I said, all right. And it just came out the car, and they seen Just was behind him, too. But they, like, I don't even dwell on that. That's so many years ago. We 20 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just know what I did.
Right.
And I know why I did it. Like I said, I didn't want that wave, that energy, which I never seen that energy like that before. Like, you know what I'm saying? That 50 Cent G-Unit energy was ridiculous. And it was like perfect storm for me. I'm in a fucking crazy storm, and again, I'm doing this on the strength of Ja Rule. It's not my beef. Mm-hmm. It's not my beef.
Yeah, because listen,
I'm doing this for Ja. It wasn't Irv's beef, but Irv is Murder Inc., so I inherit that too. But it was really like I'm doing this for Ja.
Out of everybody at Murder Inc., you're the only one that he seems to have, when I say him, I mean Fifth, have a large amount of respect for.
I'm sure, again, listen.
He's never disparaged you. He never said you was pussy or nothing. Like, he never crossed certain lines with you.
Because, again, I don't need no accolades or nothing, but I do know we have a lot of people that are mutual, that he knows that I cross paths with.
Yeah.
That know me, that know what I've been about. And, again, we did cross paths in the studio, basketball court, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I always say that a nigga's eyes never lie. You know what I'm saying? So I know he's seen something in my eye. I know that because we made that. You know, when you make that contact with a nigga in that moment, I know, nigga. I know you know.
Yeah.
And again, it's just what it is. I seen something in his eye just like he seen something in my eye. And it is all under the water. It's nothing. Like, he could have walked in right now. I would have no problem. Only way I have a problem is if he have a problem. But I ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, we get your money. I wish everybody the best. I want everyone to get money. He's a black man. I want a black man to get money, take care of your family and kids and everything. You know, one day I met his son in the club. I would never do that.
Yeah.
I would never. It's not that serious.
Right.
See, that's for a different level of beef, which I've been part of.
Right.
That's a different level. His son was so nervous. I had to tell him, like, yo, don't be nervous, my nigga. And it's the one he don't fuck with.
Right.
But he looked like him, so he know I'm in there and he nervous. Like you ain't got to worry about it. I never.
Damn, where my shiesty? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
But I let him know I would never do that. That is when they touched Jimmy Henchman's son.
Yeah.
They went way far. That's
taking it somewhere else.
Going somewhere else. Unless the son is active. If he's active and involved with family, his father,
they said he was just walking home from school, like on some trying to get to the crib, like.
To me, that's a different level.
That's
that's ignorance to me. That's like
Lodi Mack paid for that shit with his life.
You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Yeah, certain shit you can't do.
You can't cross certain lines. You know, there's lines that was crossed on their end.
Yeah,
not my end.
yeah.
There was lines crossed.
Even Yayo did an interview recently with Vlad. He said, "I understand why my mom's house got shot up." He said the shit with his kid was too far. He said that's what happens. Niggas my mama house gets shot up when you touch a nigga kids.
And guess what? It may not be finished. That's what happens when you cross a line. It's never really.
There's no real parameter on when this can
someone
start.
asked me. I said when bloodshed, like how I seen all beefs get fixed. That's why I said this to me is not real. It's like there's nothing there. 50 wanted to be Murder Inc. How about this? He paid for 4 beats for Irv to produce. How much beef we got? He gave us $100,000 out of his fucking budget when he was on Columbia Records.
He was with Trackmasters.
He was with Columbia Records. $100,000 was paid to us out of $200,000. That's the first half for 4 beats, $50,000 a beat. Damn. How much beef we got? He wanted to be with the hottest fucking Queens niggas. Was with Preem, the king of Southside, where he's from. You know what I'm saying? He wanted that, but then when it didn't go the way he expected it, he flipped, and it worked for him. Mm-hmm. It actually worked for him. That's the bottom line. But he was friends with Black Child. He was friends with Caddy. He wanted to be with Murder Inc. He's at our video set. That's when Rule first didn't shake his hand the way he wanted, and he got upset, and that's what started the whole beef. It was over handshake. Yeah, that's a fact. That's how petty. You know, what my man? You petty, I'm petty too. That's what he said. That's
yeah,
what,
dirt.
You know what I mean? If you petty, I'm petty too. That's
it's some like noise around. It's kind of like people dance around and shit, but it's like that Caddy was like a double agent.
He made a mistake.
Okay,
we already talked to him. He definitely made a mistake. Yeah. That was a big deal that day. I don't want to get into all the details, but things definitely transpired with some people, not me or Irv or John, but other people affiliated with Murder Inc. That happened because Caddy gave their location up.
Get a drop out.
Yeah, it wasn't 50.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with that, so please don't misconstrue that.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. This was some other street shit.
Got it.
That went down and niggas retaliated with and did some things that got real messy.
Right.
It got real messy, so I don't want to elaborate. It just got ugly. But Caddy definitely did that. Prodigy talked about it in his book. We ran down on Prodigy. Shout out Prodigy. You know, God bless. You know what I mean? God bless his soul. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. But we definitely ran down on Prodigy and his man and shit on that. And everything came out.
Yeah.
Everything came out. Listen, we handle all business. We handle all street business.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Niggas can say whatever they want. Like I said, my name and credibility is 100. And that's what I'm sure even 50 gets back from real niggas.
Yeah.
You know, real niggas is going to stand up with me. I got a lot of them.
Yeah. They're not going to be swayed by the nonsense and the noise and the chat.
It's just music. He made hot music. Niggas would look at me in the club, dancing the fucking this shit. Like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, yo, this shit's hot.
Right.
What you want me to do? I'm not deaf.
Yeah.
This shit's hot. That's real shit. I promise you. Niggas be like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, what? I shouldn't listen to like his music. Like, it wasn't the diss records, you know, but in the club is a monster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then even his other joints, it's like, yo, these are regular records. This is just good music. But niggas would be on me like, yo, what you doing? Like, oh shit, I gotta stop dancing.
Get back in character.
Fuck out of here, nigga.
Did you see the Supreme Team documentary that Nas put together for Showtime?
Of course. We had to give the blessing for that.
What'd you think about it?
Yeah, we had to do Listen, shout out Nas for doing that. For real.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, only thing, there was a couple parts that I really didn't think should have been in there. That as a controller of it, it wasn't necessary.
For telling the story.
Yeah, you don't need, certain parts shouldn't have been in there. But other than that, that was the detective they had there. That was one of the niggas following me around everywhere. That nigga in that there was following me around. When we was under investigation, everywhere I went, he was there. Him and 3 other guys. No bullshit. So he's official. That niggas really was on the case.
Yeah.
For us and Preem. So, but there was parts that shouldn't have been done, and it's like should have been edited.
I like the backstory part of it, as far as like establishing Queens as like a black hub of success, and that part of it.
Supreme Team's doc, but it wasn't Supreme Team narrating.
Got it.
That was Prince.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Supreme Team is through Prince, his nephew.
Got it.
What it is we made sure, like Preem said, ask Irv.
Yeah.
Can Nas do this? Let his nephew get this money.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we gonna stop that?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because Irv is doing
the Supreme movie.
Everything.
Yeah.
So everything, Irv has all rights. Everything has to go through Irv.
Yeah.
For anything Supreme. That's official. So again, when it's Prince, of course we gonna that's Prince, nigga.
Yeah.
You gotta get it from his son. Go to his son. His son sells all those shirts, the Supreme shirts. Please go to his son. That's his son, Kyle. But the name of the Instagram is Supreme Kenneth Supreme McGriff. And you just go there and hit him, and he'll get you. You can get the order.
Nice.
But that's dope. I support his son, so I help him out with everything. Him, Black Jess son, you know what I'm saying? Little Jess. You know, that's the next niggas up.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know. Yeah, but the doc was good.
Yeah.
It's just a few parts that I didn't dig.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There was an interview that something that was obvious about that doc.
Uh-oh.
Bimmy is nowhere to be found in that doc. And
listen, Bimmy was an official Supreme Team.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But I'm wondering if that had something to do with the fact that Bimmy and Preem had an issue recently about some shit that Bimmy said in the interview.
Bimmy's home.
Yeah.
And he's not following all the
protocol,
maybe, if you call it, you know, and he's doing what he wants.
Yeah.
Certain things that isn't really co-signed by Preem. And so he made, that could be, I don't know the real reason.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I do not know the real reason of why he wasn't in
He was wiped. Like, he's
but
not in this shit.
It was weird because he should be. He's definitely an official Supreme member of the Supreme Team. Like me and Irv, we from Hollis. My story with Preem is when I knew he was somewhere.
You said you would slide.
Yeah, I moved. I wouldn't be because he was too deep. It's too many. I knew how to pick and choose my battles.
Yeah.
I fought with niggas, them Southside niggas under my conditions and terms. I'm not gonna fight you.
Yeah, I'm gonna clothesline that nigga tomorrow. I ain't dealing with this shit tonight.
As soon as they tip ball, I'm clotheslining this nigga.
As soon as the ball goes. Hey, me and Preem had real conversations about this shit because I would tell him when I was with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I remember that night." And yeah, I slid up out of there, and shit went down those nights.
Yeah,
but you know, different clubs from the Encore, Fantasia, Rooftop. You know what I'm saying? Preem was a nigga that went everywhere. I went everywhere. That's very rare from Queens.
It's real sectioned off.
No, Queens, for the most part, Queens niggas in that day back then, we didn't vary out of all these places to different boroughs because we was getting into trouble.
Right.
Like, if I'm from Queens, they would always do the shout-outs.
Mm-hmm.
They would always do the shout-outs. Who's in? Once you hear, you're going to rep your Queens.
Yeah.
If you didn't, niggas knew you wasn't from where they from. Right? So if you was Brooklyn niggas just had a problem with Queens niggas. Bronx niggas had a problem with Queens niggas. Fuck, we had a problem with everybody.
Yeah.
Queens niggas had a problem with Queens niggas. It's like, fuck.
The Queens niggas band when it's like, say if it was something going on in Manhattan or whatever, and then like some shit kick off, would the Queens niggas that might have had beef together band together against Brooklyn or the Bronx or whatever?
I couldn't never say I seen that except for Hollis niggas stuck together.
Okay.
So if we was Hollis, it wasn't just Queens. If you was from another part of Queens, we watching your ass get fucked
up. Like Newman.
Did our job for us.
But yeah, we wasn't jumping in unless there's only a little bit of affiliates like from from that Hollis fuck with, like a Murdoch. Niggas from Murdoch and shit like that. It wasn't a lot of areas. It was like Queens versus the world. Hollis versus everybody.
Yeah.
You see them shirts now. That's really how it was growing up.
Yeah. Real quick before we get out of here, let's talk a little bit of music. It's a bunch of new artists out. You still in the music space, ADD Ventures.
I'm fucking with Little Durk and Little Baby right now.
I was going to say, who you like?
I'm with the
voice and the hero.
Man. And again, I know I say that and I just talk about kid music, but I'm not a kid. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And again, I understand the records, the sound of what they're saying. And, you know, I talk to my Chicago dudes, and they get mad when I say that because they like, yo, this drill music, we die. They like, niggas is really dying. I said, I understand it, but I'm not talking about it from that perspective.
Yeah.
So share just understanding. Hip-hop is you tell your story. I understand their stories that they tell. That's all I'm saying. It's like maybe it's not for everybody, but I do understand the stories, and it's dope. Yeah. Like the musically, the way it's put together. Like Dirk is a monster. Man.
Dirk is a monster, yo. We was on Patreon, I think a week ago, and we was going over the year-to-date sales numbers. Dirk is his album from March. He's already at like 1.4, 1.5 million units or something like that. Like, he's doing his thing, man.
Nah, he's doing his thing.
He's doing his thing big time.
I like a lot of these young new niggas, man. Like these niggas, but you know, again, the content of it is not for kids. It's adult content, and that's what it is. But, you know, there's a lot of young niggas that I like, and they're growing. Those two being the top two.
Yeah. Lil Baby just had his birthday concert in Atlanta. I think Friday. Drake came, Future, the whole QC is. Yeah. It's a different, like different thing. Yeah.
Homage, yo.
Big dog.
He's
a big dog.
Little big dog.
How do you feel as somebody from that era with like the Jay-Z, Nas, DMX era? How do you feel about like 21 Savage with that whole?
Oh, with that comment?
Yeah.
Again, you can't. How old is 21 Savage?
30.
I was going to say 29, 30.
So maybe he meant it because I seen him and Nas did a record together.
Immediately after,
Maybe he meant it a different way.
It's like he always says, niggas sometimes just don't know how to talk. And
just right. He might have meant it like in a truthful way, like, yo, he's not relevant right now.
Or relevant to my demographic of music,
The reality is most of these young kids may not know who Nas is.
Right. You figure Nas literally, like, from all...
I have no ego. People always say, you don't know who that is. It's the old head saying that. I said, yo, chill out. They probably don't know.
Like, there are a lot of people who think King Disease 3 is the best album that's come out this year. Yeah. But in reality, the album sold, like, 34,000 the first week. So it's like, it's not necessarily the overarching relevance that these younger people have.
That's the record with Drake and Savage?
No. That's Nas' album.
My fault.
Yeah. Nas and Hit Boy's third album. King Disease 3.
People think that's like the album of the year. And it's like, it's very, very good. And it shows you like, damn, Nas is still Nas. Like, he's fucking great at this. But the album is not going to outperform Drake and him on the charts. This is about young. Yeah, it's just what it is. A young man's sport.
Young kids are not supporting it, then your relevancy is not there. It's that simple. It's no disrespect to Nas. It's no disrespect to Jay. None of them. These young kids don't know you no more. They didn't grow up on your music. Relax. It's okay. That's evolution.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The artists you grew up in, right? We was the generation that took them out and so on and so on. It happens all the time.
How you feel about Hov's God Did verse?
God Did.
You see, he got nominated for Song of the Year. Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm a Jay-Z fan. Number one, like, I fuck with it. Like, the nigga's nice, yo.
Nigga's nice, yo.
His nigga's nice, and he speaks to me. What he says, the way he puts it together, I understand it. Like, you know what I mean? It resonates in my world, in my life. So that's what makes you like music even more. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's that dude, man. Yeah. He's that dude. Jay, I'm about to holler at you, boy. I need you.
Shit, we need you too, Jay.
Yeah. Everybody needs you.
We'll take a couple cases of Duce to start. I know he's trying to get out of that deal.
I got a deal for him that, you know, again, to perform. I don't know if they see him and B perform, but I got a big number on the table for overseas for him.
I can imagine. Yeah. I know it's through the roof.
Big number, man. Yeah. I don't know if you was tearing it down, like if a couple hours of work, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours.
exactly.
You and B, 3 hours set. Pick up some M's.
Yeah, pick some change up.
A lot of tickets.
Yeah.
More, you know what I mean?
Big tickets.
8 figures.
Ooh.
8 figures.
Man.
8 figures. 8 figures for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he got to holler at you.
Yeah, shit, can we come?
I ain't gonna lie. It was his birthday just passed, so I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I want to make sure when I hit him, he's real.
I think on the last interview, and this is my last question. Last interview, you said that y'all had a chance to, I think, sign Daddy Yankee.
Oh yeah, Daddy Yankee was brought to me by a guy named Joe and Adi. Adi's is a Dominican dude or Spanish dude. I don't know.
Okay.
I think he's Dominican, but I'm not sure. And Big Joe, I thought was Spanish, but he's just a light skinned black nigga.
Okay.
Like myself. Shout out Big Joe.
I went to Barcelona last year, and they was like, I was speaking like a little bit of Spanish. I could know enough to like navigate. And they're like, you Dominican? And I'm just like,
yeah, you Dominican. But Big Joe and Adi did all of the biggest Latin parties in New York. And they tell me they got this artist, and it was Daddy Yankee and everything. We could ask Big Joe. I don't know where Adi's at, but I definitely still Big Joe. And he had Daddy Yankee. He brought me Shaggy. He brought me Yeast and Yandel, the other Spanish.
Oh shit.
Group. There's a big that which are big.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 acts he absolutely brought me to sign the Murder Inc. that week.
Yeah.
Irv, when I brought him Daddy Yankee, Irv was basically telling me like, we're not Spanish. We don't know what he's fucking saying. How the fuck you know? How do you know? How do you know? I said I don't, but I hear music, right?
Yeah.
I said, and he's big, yo. But Irv didn't want to get into Spanish.
Yeah. So my question, rehashing that point, my question to you is now, fast forwarding, seeing where we're in a space where this Latin music explosion is going on.
It's only natural.
And Bad Bunny is like the biggest artist in the fucking world. Like, what do you think about this? Planet, right? Yeah, for sure. With the biggest and best deal.
Natural. Why? How many Latinos is in America?
Yeah.
Just think about that number. Then add in all their countries. They outnumber us.
Yeah, I think they said something like, statistically speaking, like 70% of the world speaks Spanish. Yeah.
And it's only getting bigger. See, Chinese is up there, right? But Chinese limited their babies. You know, you only have like 2 kids. Max.
Yeah.
That's it. They locking your shit up.
It's too many.
Shit, though.
Yeah, it's not enough space. All them bicycles.
But you
can't got nowhere to park my bike, man.
The Spanish countries is letting them have them babies.
Yeah.
So I tell the kids all the time they should
just go and be fruitful.
Yeah. Paul Mooney said that shit like popcorn. Yeah, that shit real. Like,
But, the Spanish, they having the kids, and this is what it's about. Like, they're having population. That's, to touch on a different subject is the abortion. That's why they made it illegal to abort, because they want their white women to have babies. They didn't do it for us. They did it for the white women. They need to keep the numbers up. So they wanted to make sure they keep their numbers up.
Right.
The white women. So they blocked them from having babies. But really, like black and Spanish, we have our kids. We have our babies.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not, she might get pregnant 5 times and have, before she has one, but those 5 times came pretty often.
Right. It's in a short window.
You got anything else you want to throw out there?
I got nothing else. I always want to, open the floor for you to promote any and everything you got going on, man. Like I said in the beginning, you are OG. You're somebody that, we look to for best practices and inspiration and a look into like the industry and things like that. And we always appreciate you being available to us to pull up and cut some content.
Why they take R. Kelly's music down?
In a snap.
In a heartbeat.
I heard it was some classic.
I mean, but I admit it. I thought it was pretty decent. The I Admit It record had been out, but like the rest of the shit was all like, I guess, I don't know. He did some shit on Anchor on the phone or something. I don't fucking know. But I mean, it's probably just somebody.
It's a money grab. It's some nigga that was probably recording in the studio.
Yeah. No, they probably got access to some of his files. That's all.
Yeah, probably hacked the shit and threw it up.
He probably didn't do it. I don't.
Does he own his catalog anymore? I thought he sold all his shit.
I don't.
When he got in the jam.
I'm not sure, but I know he was having, because the people around him was stealing.
Yeah. Everybody's stealing, literally.
Yeah, everybody.
It's sad. So at the end of the day, again, he probably, it's sad because he's one of the probably best artists we had in our time, right?
Yeah.
From a humanity standpoint, he helped through his music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
In an actuality standpoint, this some weird shit.
Did some weird shit, but you know, if I turn the lights on niggas in the dark, we might see a lot of weird shit.
When I found out through the Surviving R. Kelly shit, when I found out that a lot of them chicks was like 28, 35 and shit, I was like, oh, these just dumbass bitches. Like this isn't you're not being victimized. You just stupid.
Get into, but he wasn't doing most of that shit. He definitely had a fetish for them young girls.
Yeah.
So what man don't?
Say that.
That's a mic drop.
Take your blazer off.
But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say that. Let me retract because again, a man should not be looking at like
underage
girls. Not a real man. A real man shouldn't be looking at an underage woman ever. So when I say that, but I understand. I said say that because of all of the pedophile shit that's out here.
Yeah.
You know, talking to my lawyer, Robert Simmons that I mentioned earlier. That's the number one. I said with the jails, what's the most cases inside? Pedophile.
Damn.
Why? It's the easiest to convict you on because they get you with your computers up and they get the
you was searching so.
They got you dead to your right. So that's why there's so many pedophiles in jail. But that's what the number is big. It's over 50% is pedophile.
Damn.
And that's crazy to me. But that's why I say that. Not because I condone it.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's what's going on with these fucking.
Yeah, you have the understanding of the full picture. That's why you said.
But I got, in my life, I have nothing but women and my daughter and my mother, my sisters. I'm like my nieces. I'm what? Nah, nigga be in big trouble.
Right.
But what I meant, what he was like, he had a issue, and I don't know how if it was still going. I know earlier days, like from Aaliyah and things of that for sure, but.
When he was hanging out at the McDonald's and all that with strange shit.
But I don't know about later in life because I wasn't still inside or anything like that. I don't know. But when they said they was keeping him captive, he wasn't chaining nobody up. They could all leave. The door's open. Yeah, they just thought this situation is what they wanted. Yeah. And then
the families made it a big deal.
What I talked about R. Kelly too was he probably in a lot of ways was feeling like a pimp. Right? Yeah. So that pimp mentality from a Chicago native is very common.
It's very innate.
It's very common. Most of the men in Chicago, if you know them, you talk to them, they got a pimp mentality. Yeah. So he's no different, but he also has issues. He talked about he was drinking from behind his mother's lipstick on the glass because he thought, he was kissing on his mother. Like, that's an issue. And he said this before he got to jail.
He had an Oedipus complex is what they call it.
Yeah, I know that from Baby Boy. He's about the guns and butter, baby. Yeah, but at the end of the day, what it was, he has an issue and no one helped him. And that to me is the saddest part. Yeah. So successful, people around him. He has nobody that was around him that was looking out for his best interest. They was just letting him do whatever the fuck he wanted and couldn't stop him. And that to me is sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but ours again, he's a generational talent, man.
Yeah. Boosie say can't nobody beat him in the verses.
No one. Who? In R&B?
He said R&B. He said no.
R&B energy is different from hip hop. So if he plays a slow ballad and I play a turn up record, niggas is gonna turn up faster than they get in the sheets, right? Right. It's just natural. Yeah. So you can't compare. You gotta keep him in R&B.
Gotta keep him in R&B.
No one could beat him in R&B. Hip hop niggas could fucking beat him because
the tempos and the BPMs and all that. He got
party records, but it's still different because of what he's saying, the way he says it versus from hip hop. Yeah, hip hop is more penetrating, in my opinion. So, and I love Boosie, so I really agree with mostly everything he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? When I listen to him, shout out Boosie, man.
Love Boosie.
We need to talk too. I need Boosie. We could do a whole bunch of shit. He needs so much things. He's a hidden gem, man.
He's his own untapped gem. He's his own manager. Yeah. Like doesn't have management, no publicist, no PR, nothing.
You want to know everything.
Yeah, so that's why when it's like when he loses his IG page, it's different for him than like another artist because it's like, yo, you taking my economy away. This is my every fucking thing.
You gotta create another one.
He has to be. He has to become platform agnostic. Mm-hmm. He has to have the same.
You got a lot of big words, bro.
Pretty sharp. But he gotta have the same presence on all these different platforms to where if one go down, he could still operate.
Yeah, gotta diversify.
Got to diversify for sure.
That's a fact.
For sure.
But he's definitely one of those gems in this hip hop culture.
Yeah. Speak his mind. He know what he talking about for the most part.
And it's coming from that perspective, from where he's from, that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. It's so needed. It's so needed, and it's raw and clean and clear. Like,
yeah,
it's definitely dope shit.
Gotti,
man,
appreciate you, brother. You gave us almost 3 hours, man. We kidnapped you at this point.
Yeah, I didn't eat nothing.
I didn't either.
Yeah, me neither.
Sacrifice.
Y'all told me I was gonna do something for me, man. What the fuck we doing?
Yeah, we need to get something.
Nah, but I appreciate
I go to
you.
Yelp, but open table or something.
The realest, baby. The realest. We here. Chris Gotti Lorenzo. Follow me at Chris Gotti 187 on Instagram and all social media platforms. It's still murder. Believe that. Adventure Music. Go to Adventure if you're an independent artist. Sign up. Be part of that dope platform.
Yeah, giving them the business podcast.
The business podcast. Great information. And then, let me know what you want to hear, because we'll go get those guests.
Indeed.
We appreciate it.
Gotti know everybody. He gonna get them guests.
I could get to people. I mean, what is it, 6 degrees of separation?
Yeah.
Probably 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably 2 to 3 right now. I can get to anybody pretty much. I really feel that way.
Yeah, for sure.
If I don't know him, someone that I do know.
When Irv was talking about who he's trying to cast around the Supreme movie, I was like, damn, it's like these.
Oh, you heard them names.
Heard them names.
He already spoke to everybody.
Yeah.
Names, so
Leo, Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
yeah.
Nah, Irv is gonna make
Michael B. Jordan, I think he said.
Yeah, he want him to play Prince.
Yeah.
He never played a gangster. Wakanda don't count.
Yeah.
It's not a gangster.
That ain't a gangster. Yeah,
like
it's a
make believe. Like,
you know
what I mean?
Fantasy sci-fi
I don't
type.
know if I want to see Michael B. Preem.
No, Prince. He gonna play Prince.
Oh, he gonna bring Prince. All right.
Jamie Foxx, Preem.
All right, that was.
Jamie Foxx, Preem.
Yeah,
It's like, oh.
Hold on. The role is Prince. The role is Prince. When I say that, Prince was a monster, yo. Prince was out there making. Preem's the biggest.
No, I'm just. I don't know if I want to see. I don't want to see Michael B. as Preem. That's what I was saying.
What I'm saying is, when I say the role is Prince, because that's going to be
the role that has a lot of going on.
Yeah, I mean, Preem got a lot going on, but that action, that drama, is going to be Prince.
Yeah,
his story is crazy. So it's like
we'll see.
Nah, it's a great contrast, is what I'm saying. It's dope, but I know that role is a monster role. A monster role.
Jamie Foxx as Preem would probably be decent, man.
Nah, Jamie gonna kill it.
Yeah.
Jamie gonna kill it.
Jamie, along with Chris Brown, they're probably the two most talented humans on earth.
You think so?
They can just
Jamie
do
Foxx to me
just
is number
do
one.
anything.
Just talent level, just through the roof.
Brown.
Like Chris Brown, gangbang, sing, rap, do backflips, dance. He an artist. Like this nigga make better pictures than like Daniel Arsham. Like this nigga's like a real
Did you
artist.
see? I watched the joint the other day. Jacob drew a watch. The shit was incredible.
Oh, like
Jacob
freehand,
like just freehand drew a watch on like paper, and it looked like
he's an engineer.
it was insane. He did this shit in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
Like he was showing how he designed the one of the new watches he's doing.
Yeah.
But he literally like
sketched the shit out.
freehand.
That's crazy.
Probably in his head, so he knows how to put it down.
Yeah.
That's
He
fire.
did the whole the triax, everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, Jacob relinquished his role with the company to just focus on the creative shit. His son is the CEO of Jacob and Company. Yeah.
Jacob the jeweler.
Nepotism.
Yeah, real.
He did his time with BMF. People don't talk about it, but he did his time.
Yeah.
Shout out Jacob.
Shout out Jacob, man. One
One
of
day
the
we get
architects.
Jacob on here.
He did his time, no questions asked, yo. He just did it.
So how much is all right? Cool.
That's real.
I might have took $8 million or something like that. All right, I'm in here. Realest Podcast 7, Chris Gotti. We out.
We out. That's funny as shit.